All right, we'll just start, I guess.
Sure.
Having a minor technical issue here. Bear with us. We'll get going this morning. Welcome back in. It is going to be an absolute, potentially anyways, volatile day once again. Futures right back to the low here so far this morning to start things off. We did start the morning a little bit higher. We've given all that back and then some already, right back to essentially where we went out in the aftermarket yesterday. Obviously, China has to come back with some sort of retaliation here and some sort of response after what happened yesterday. If you missed it already this morning, 84% coming back from China after what Trump did yesterday. So welcome to Tariff Wednesday. Is that what we're calling it? Or?
I don't know, Brendo. It's just like, I want a deal to get struck already. I mean, we're talking about 104% on one side, 84% on the other. That's up from 34. Yeah. President Xi coming out, or the Ministry of Commerce coming out overnight and reporting that. That was the bad news. But I wanted to say that there was a little bit of good news here. Up until yesterday, we heard the Trump administration say that China hadn't approached them at all to discuss the tariffs, where other countries had up to 70. Yesterday, we got more information that they did finally reach out and they're willing to negotiate, but they did throw that 84% tariff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear to begin with that he's not in a hurry.
Nope.
You know, there's no hurry, there's no urgency here as far as getting any kind of deal done. 1.5% here, as I mentioned, for the NASDAQ. It's worth mentioning coming up. This morning, there is a little bit of economic data to keep in mind. Wholesale inventories to come at 9 a.m. this morning, and then actually that'll be 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock wholesale inventories, and then 10:30. It's Wednesday, so we get energy data right across the board coming up at 10:30. FOMC minutes this afternoon at 2 p.m. Happy Tariff Day, you guys.
Hey,
Tariff
Day.
Yeah, and then China comes back. I think China is going to slap theirs on starting tomorrow morning, but at the end of the day, does the day actually matter?
It doesn't. What day it happens, we all know what's going to happen. Oh, I should be wearing the dark one. I'll change it. You know what the good thing is, though? All you have to do, and I was just going over some of the overnight charts. If you just want to look at bullish charts, pull up like Blue Ocean, like Baba was trending up.
Camera way closer?
It feels a little close. It feels a little snug. I don't know, but it is, right?
I like it.
It feels a little more like.
I like it, Fabian. I like
close.
it.
We keep it going. No, but everything was up overnight. Baba was running in the evenings. You had SMCI, which was running in the evening, and they're all trending higher. Obviously, hopefully, people took their profits if they were buying. As retaliation has come through, things don't look all that good. Apple's already down a couple of points today. When they announced that 84%, I mean, Apple went instantly down like $7.
Yeah.
If you look at the chart, it was just a bleed. I don't know if we can.
$7. Oh, yeah, well, it's down 23% in 4 days.
We were chilling out. Like, we were actually gapped up a little bit higher, and then we were just like, boom, right down there. And what's wild is you were seeing strength. Like when I talked about Blue Ocean, this is what Alibaba looked like in the after hours. Got up to 108 and was trending, and we're right back underneath $100. So it had gained 8% in the aftermarket, only to be right back where it was. So volatility is still king. The Bitcoin still holds their 80,000. Not much has changed here. Like if you're hoping for deals to get done, we're still waiting. What the, huh?
No. The show doesn't start until Randy's here. That's why.
It just caught me off guard.
Hey, what's up, Randy? Yeah, I noticed the one yesterday was bruised too. You know they're bringing those. I saw some nectarines there. Was it nectarines or peaches? What did I see today?
Plums.
Plums.
Not today.
Maybe. I don't know.
Not
I saw
today,
it's a nice variety there. No, because the thing is that it just goes everywhere. The thing about the banana is like it's fine. Like if you have a peach here, it's gonna, especially those great Niagara peaches, which obviously are not in season right now. It's 0 degrees again today, by the way. I mean, hopefully we're turning the corner. I want to do a Masters pool. I was gonna look for something like that.
I want that.
We could all enter a Masters pool. You want to enter a Masters? How long?
Where is it?
We can still do it tomorrow. Well, I was gonna figure out something where we could all put together like a sheet.
Like a grid?
Like, yeah, we all just pick guys.
Okay, like, is it one we have like a salary and you can...
No, I don't want to do complicated.
Okay.
I was just thinking like group 1, group 2, like 5 boxes, and we all just pick a guy from a box.
Done.
If I can find one of those.
For the record, I will be sourcing the chat for help on that because I don't know much about golf. Just saying.
I'll just be sourcing FanDuel, like whatever the top ranked guys are. Right there. You want to do that, Randy? You watch golf? Yeah, you might as well. Yeah. We'll say we can all throw in whatever, $20, and then we figure out what we do with that, or we just don't do any money at all, and we just get food. Whoever wins, wins. That's it.
Winner gets free brisket.
We have to do brisket again.
Of course.
We have to get it from that place up north there. Well, it's not north. But
Dare is excited
yeah,
for the
Maison
brisket.
there. Okay, so yeah, look. Apple is just, it's the #1 trade idea that I have today. And we're down from 225 down to 169 in 5 days. Like we're down 23% right here, you know, top to bottom where we are. Might even be more than that. Oh no, now I can't even read it because it's like, damn. I gotta do that again. Anyways, yeah, just a huge move downside there. If I do it from over here, will that make me look at it better? Yeah, there it is right there. Well, that says 32% from 225 down to, yeah, I guess it was 23% before yesterday. From 32% from 225 right here down to 170. That's something like, that was close to 3 trillion. Like you're talking about almost $1 trillion or so off the market cap in a week and a bit, you know? And then I thought we were touting Apple, weren't we? Wasn't Trump there? It's the largest investment in U.S. Remember that, Neil? It was 500 billion or something. And he was like, yeah, Apple's all in the, you know, is here. Okay, well.
Like, I thought it was million.
Anyways, is it 500 million?
No. He said I thought it was million, but it was like billion. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so anyways, as we continue to go down and down and down, this just keeps on. But interesting, I'm glad that you showed that Blue Ocean because I do know here at Real Trading, there is a lot of trading that happens now on Blue Ocean because of all the overnight action. You know, China looks like it might be up here today, but we'll wait to see what does wind up happening. I don't know if there's going to be pay for shorts. We have to watch out for SMCI. We have to watch. Dell is continuously moving lower. JP Morgan, you mentioned that Jamie Dimon's out there talking recession again. Oil.
VIX is at the highs.
Is oil down?
What else?
Before I say oil's down, I didn't even look.
Yeah, probably down.
I'm 4%. Is gold down? We had Michael Noss. Hey, what's up, Michael Noss? We had Brian Shannon on yesterday, and he was just like, nothing was safe. I even tried to get him to say, maybe invest in gold. He was like, no. I know, Adara was there with me yesterday, and I was like, what about Bitcoin? No. What about S&P 500? No. What about gold? No. What about oil? No. Every single thing was no. And he quoted back 1929 to 1932 or something like that, the market had fallen 90% in that space. And for some reason, he didn't rule that out. So I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I think if you're looking at charts, there's not too much to like, right? And I think that's obviously when you're talking with the chart guy, they're going to point at various levels not holding. I mean, the NASDAQ has this is the world's largest tech market, right? The NASDAQ has absolutely fallen on its face. That's 490 down to 408. I mean, you've taken out all of last year. We're getting lower. There's really no support. Like that, this is what he was saying was just trying to put anchors in places, but you know, we don't really have. The one spot though, he gave us, what was it, 445 or something like that here on the S&P, yeah. So we're already down to 480. So I think it was 440, 450 for the S&P was an area that Brian had indicated. Yeah, it must have been right into here. So that was an area potentially for that. Randy, you might get your wish, man, on Rivian. I don't know if this is the right time to step into that one. You've been given. What's your opinion on your new name, Rivian Randy? By the way, someone in the chat. Someone in the chat yesterday.
It's better than. I mean, it's better than Ford, Randy. That's for sure.
Ford is at $8.
Yeah, I haven't been recalled yet, so.
You're right. So you're definitely not Ford Randy yet.
No, I'd rather.
The wife hasn't recalled you yet.
I'd rather walk.
The wife hasn't upgraded for a younger model or anything yet. That's good, man.
Yeah, poor Ford.
Can't, not when you got the clean cut there. Like.
Yeah, well.
There's a story there.
There's a story there.
But anyways, yeah, that's.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
haircut,
okay.
I mean.
Yeah, no, it's a great.
Looks like just
a great haircut. Oh no, it's not about. It was about the barber. It's nothing.
Oh,
it's
God.
It's just.
It's to your point. Like, there's nowhere to hide. Like, unless you're looking at an inverse ETF, or the VIX.
Oh, well,
That's it.
But do you want to hide in an inverse ETF? That's pretty aggressive.
Well, no, you don't want to hide in those because that's crazy. And buying, historically speaking, it's kind of crazy you don't buy the VIX at these levels unless you're. I mean, people trade it, and there's obviously like hedging going on, but like you're not hiding when the VIX is at 60. I don't think you want to do that. But the number of names that made flat bottom 52-week low breaks in the last little week is insane. Obviously, we've been harping on Ford, but look at all of the pharmaceuticals. I'm saying all, but I've only looked at most of them. But almost all of them.
You can say all.
I'm pretty sure it's all. They just all flat bottom broke. Like Pfizer broke some lows. Merck got Merck, for lack of a better term. There's a 52-week low break on Merck. And it's not just the bad ones, like the good ones too. Like Lilly finally lost that. There it is. Take a second to load there because that chart looks so bad. No, it just lost the $700 level, major support. You're talking about a bounce level from April of last year. Like that low in April, it's actually Apple also made its big low for the year at that price, and it could test that today. So yeah, you're really you're running out of support levels, and when you see support levels breaking, it's hard not to be looking short. Like you break a 52-week low, you break a support, the next day, what are you thinking on that stock? You're thinking continuation before I'm thinking it's going to somehow magically recover it. Now, anything could happen. Maybe we actually get some deals announced or something. And I do suspect, you're not going to want to be trading around without stop orders and the like, because at any given moment, like Apple's looking pretty bad today, but at any given moment, if there was any kind of hey, there's some negotiation happening or whatever it might be, you could see a huge spike, and you'll know when volume comes in. So you do still have to be wary, even if you're with the trend. Absolutely anything can happen at any moment. We know what kind of a market this is. And Apple, hey, look, someone likes it at 168.5, it seems.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's up with that? Nice little move right here. And I just want to say shout out to our good friend, Mr. Westermeyer, who's right here in the chat. And he says, at Sean, at us all, basically, remember when we did the podcast and talked about side hustles? Yeah, I mean, that's, I think that's, there it is. He bought 4 buildings for $3K and sold them for $33K. Yeah, there you go. So, wow, he bought 4 historic buildings for $3K?
Historic?
What does that mean exactly? $3K for buildings? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that is what we're talking about. And I think that when you are a trader, especially when not necessarily a day trader, but a swing trader, you could go through, or even day trading. I mean, the thing is that my wife was talking with one of her friends yesterday, and she was like, oh man, how's Sean doing? Like, this must be, the market is just horrible. And then Marissa just responds with, actually, times are pretty good in the day trading world because of volatility. Yeah. But the point there in the chat, it's important to have those side hustles. Like whether or not, I mean, it's hard to do it if you have a full-time job.
Well, that's the thing.
But that's the thing. I think trading is a great side hustle. So I would, for me, I think that the best way to do it would be to try to trade maybe on the side, get something, even if you split your income 50-50, something like that, because you are going to go through times like that. Yeah, trade opens, trade closes, trade
Blue
moments,
Ocean.
Trade moments.
Actually, that's one of the best things with that Blue Ocean algorithm trading. You can trade the overnight market and have a regular day job.
Right. So that's another thing. Trade futures overnight, trade
so
Forex.
Many opportunities. I just jokingly
don't trade at all. I don't know.
Only because he just
where's DraftKings $5?
Westermeyer just said real estate. Have you seen the real estate? This is the one I'm aware of. I'm sure there's other ETFs out there.
Yeah, XLRE is one.
So I just looked at IYR. That's pretty nasty. But doesn't every chart look at that? What's the other one? XLRE.
XLRE.
That's in our system as well.
Yep, that's real estate. That's real estate sector spider.
Yeah. Not doing every.
I mean, Westermeyer found some good real estate options, but not the ETF, I guess.
Let us know. Because, wow, that's a pretty hefty drop in there. This is exactly why people are saying recession, this and that. And what's so crazy because everything about the U.S. economy had been so strong up until this war, tariff war.
Tariff war, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people there. Nevid runs a machine shop and trades all day.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. There was just some news there. Maybe Brendan has it or something, but there was just a little bit of a play upside there on the futures. I'm not sure exactly what it was going on, but maybe something. But anyways, futures go up and go down these days. All right, it's 8:45. We've got Apple on our mind. An Apple a day does not keep the market away, unfortunately. And the market is now open and trading in the pre-market. Apple, Tesla, all down.
New I'm seeing at this point, as far as the overall market is concerned. You and I were just touching on the simple fact that we sat here on Friday and the 10-year was at 3.8. Right now, the 10-year is at 4.47.
Yeah.
Like just parabolic on long-term yields at this point. That's 3 days.
There's so many reasons for this. So let's talk a little bit about it. So number one, there's been a lot of outflows from U.S. Treasuries into German Treasuries. Not really sure why, or German bonds, excuse me. We'll talk more about that possibly on the How to Trade show once I find more information. But the thing is, he's looking at extending the 2017 tax cuts. That's about $4 trillion. There's many more cuts as well. We've heard about no income tax on tips, no income tax on overtime as well. All that has to be funded somehow. Well, how are you going to do that? Sure, Doge is taking care of business, trying to save about $2 billion, $3 billion a day, but it still leaves a huge budget deficit. So the theory is he's going to have to raise more money by printing more U.S. Treasuries, and that's bringing the yields back up right now.
Yeah, so we'll see if anything slows down at this point, but that's obviously also not going to help the overall stock market. Keep in mind, coming up this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we'll hear not from Fed Chair Powell, but we'll get the FOMC minutes from the last meeting, and that'll give a little more insight into what they are thinking at this point. And it's all obviously hindsight. We'll go back to the last meeting and get more data on how they voted and who voted which direction. But in the meantime, let's jump over to Joseph. And get options idea here.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Yes, it is hump day, and you know that we have some volatile markets. So how can we navigate these markets via options and reduce the fluctuation within our contracts? I think that's going to be really important, especially if you're trading directionally, okay? So there's multiple ways that we can reduce this. But what I want us to focus on this morning is when we trade directionally, how we can eliminate some of the fluctuation and the volatility within our options contracts. So I want us to take a look at this call option right here, and you're going to see it's going to be priced in at a value of $14.65. Fairly straightforward. We have it with an expiry date of about May 2nd here, exactly May 2nd. But what I want us to focus on here is some key metrics, okay? So one is going to be our delta, and then we're going to look at our rate of change. Rates of change. Okay, so delta being the rate of change for every 1 point move in our underlying asset move, we get a $54 change in the options contract. And then you can see with that $54 change, the gamma will now increase the delta by $1.21. Fairly volatile asset. This is a high level of fluctuation. So what can we do exactly to reduce this? There's multiple things we can do. So we can now hedge our positions in a calendar spread type format and even a ratio spread type format. So what we're going to do is working on a partial hedge. So it's going to be a duration not as long as our long call options expiration cycle. It's going to be before it. Okay, so one thing that I want you guys to know is look at the delta and look at our gamma. So now that is a highly volatile contract. How can we reduce the volatility in these contracts? Well, that's very simple, all right? So we'll focus on this one. It is simply by hedging our position. Now, I want you to focus on the debit that it costs. So we went from going from $14 paying for that one specific contract to now $10.23. Well, how did we reduce this price? It's very simplistic, okay? So what essentially we did is we just sold a nearer dated call option against our previously long call option. So what does that do? So now we're going to focus on our delta and our gamma. It has now been cut in half. So what does that tell us? that now we have the ability to partially hedge our contracts and not have to worry about the volatile markets as much. Our delta was previously, when we just strictly bought that call option, was double what it is with the simplistic hedge. It's a one-to-one hedge, but what gives us the ability to benefit more from this is that our expiration cycle is before, on our short option, is before our long call expires. So we have the ability to collect premium, reduce the volatility within our contracts, and then also have the ability to gain the maximum amount of profit because our call option is further dated out. So if you really want to be directional in this market, whether you're going to be constructing bear put spreads or bull call spreads, you can hedge your position by using the calendar spreads, reducing your delta, and reducing your gamma. That is going to give you the ability to stay within these trades longer and not get stopped out, because we know that just single-legged options, whether you're just buying a call or a put, in these volatile markets fluctuate quite a bit. You can now reduce this by just simply hedging with short either puts or short calls. And that is going to allow you to stay within trades significantly longer and not necessarily have to worry about getting stopped out when the VIX is north of 45 there, guys.
The VIX north of 45. 60, man. Oh.
I was always thinking, like, whenever the VIX gets down to like 12 or 13, like the historical averages, then that's when you just buy it.
Yeah.
Because then that's like the ultimate hedge.
And then you're kind of just good.
I'm doing that next time. I'm doing that next time.
Felt that way in 08. Felt that way in 2020. I still never bought the VIX. But
the market is...
No, we were just looking at... The market's bouncing a little bit here, but it's...
We're back.
Because we were looking at AMD on a monthly chart just now. When you're talking about volatility. Like, AMD could get to... I actually think that if this gets down to $60, I might take a shot at this. It's just nuts. And we're so close to it happening. Like, this was 220. Anyways, as Sean was mentioning, the market is actually bouncing here. NVIDIA, believe it or not, just went green. It was up 1%. So that happened. The NASDAQ's only down 0.7. Apple just turned green. So there's some exuberance coming in here. I mean, exuberance is probably the wrong word when you bounce $4 or $3, given that you fell 20 yesterday. But still, decent bids starting to come in here to Apple as that just turned into the green. It sold off in the afternoon off 178. So as long as it's under that, I'm kind of still thinking there will be some fade zones. But yeah, good move there in at least a few names that I'm looking at here. Not much in the Pfizers of the world. I just looked over, and that's still down 4%. Intel's not moving. But NVIDIA, Apple, NASDAQ, trying to charge back a little bit here.
Yeah, all this is doing is giving me more juice to fade the pops. I'm not going long. I'm not going to write along on here. I'm not doing anything long today. Like, I think the short is right. We talked about that yesterday. There's so much FOMO in this market. I mean, even just yesterday, if you look at what happened to the TQQs, like, we were up real good, man. Yes, like we had closed. So we had touched down there at $35 at its lows. And then yesterday we were at 47 basically at open. And this is what the market looked like this is yesterday's market, right? Like, this is the NASDAQ yesterday. It just 10 o'clock hit and it was like, see ya, you know, and the bulls came. The bulls came for money early, right? I mean, the market was up 4 or 5%. Then we wound up, you know, like the 8% turnaround there in the market is pretty dramatic. And we had the same thing the day before. So, like, I don't know. I'm going to still be on this name. I'm looking to go short 40, 41 bucks. We can get anything like that on the TQs. These are the levels that I'm writing down. I'm looking for some more opportunities as well. The reason why we were looking at AMD is because I was like 70, that's not the reason why I'm looking at it, but I was looking at it as well. And like $77, $78. This is ridiculous. This name was $220. Well, its 52-week high is 184 right there. But we already gotten up here back March. This is why it's not the 52-week high already. But basically a year ago, this was $213. Then Lisa Su wins CEO of the year. Meanwhile, the stock is down 75% or something from its highs. So you just got to watch out here, down to $78, $77. I think this again is a fade, and we're getting close to some of those levels. I'm about to write down $80 as a key level here. We had that high, I guess the blue ocean high right there around $80. So we'll see if that can go, but it's trying to get positive. And Neil already mentioned that NVIDIA already did turn positive. So some of these names starting to go, how much is it? Up 2%. Look at the market. The market just took out. Did we miss? We must have missed something, right? On this. But there goes the market. 16.9 to 17.2. 300 points right to the upside there on the NASDAQ. And I'm looking through Benzinga, and I don't really see anything here. So again, FOMO is in the markets early. Do not get caught in what I'm going to say is, once again, another bull trap. So we'll wait to see what's going on here. But
yesterday started up.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is giving us perfect opportunities to short, I hope. All right, Adara, give us something to trade on the upgrades and downgrades.
There's a lot of really interesting names on both sides of the fence here today, starting with General Electric. It's down in the day. All of these upgrades are actually going to be down on the session, of course, just given the overall market sentiment. But North Coast upgrading General Electric today. Public Storage getting an upgrade from Scotiabank. Then we have Sirius XM with an upgrade from Seaport Research Partners, and Celsius, a name that's been on this list pretty frequently as of late, today getting an upgrade from Needham. Downgrades here, we have Pfizer starting things off, getting downgraded by Maness, Crespi, and Hart. AMD, just mentioned over there by Neil and Sean, getting a downgrade from TD Cowen with a $110 price target. Tesla with a $350 price target, pretty reasonable here from the benchmark company. And Sempra with a downgrade from Citigroup. The lone name on this list that's actually positive right now, guys. Back to you.
Well, you know, it's always the one that you've never heard of that's going to be green, the way I see it. No, like everything, even names like GE is the kind of name that sometimes you feel like you'll be able to hide out in. As, you know, it's a solid company. They're probably going to, they tend to always weather things and weather those storms. There is a level coming up on, that's not a real wick yesterday. Oh, yeah, okay, so the actual bottom is 160. I just had to double check that because I'm pretty sure this thing didn't trade underneath 160 this week. So it's still held on to this 160 area. Disregard that wick. That bottom is still intact. There's going to be trading levels like this abound, although I think as a day trade, one of the ones I'm looking at today, it has nothing to do with GE or an upgrade or a downgrade, although I'm sure NEO's gotten downgrades recently, so let's just pretend that they did. NEO bounced, and I didn't notice this yesterday, off of $3.01 in the afternoon. Like, it went right to $3. Now, I wasn't watching it, so I don't know what the level 2 looked like, but it's NEO, so I presume there was like a few million shares on the bid there. And it just tagged the 01 and bounced cleanly into the close to give you a run into, like, the actual high up here was like 20s, but you could have been firmly out in the 12 to 15 range. So it's trying to bounce off 3 again. It plays both directions. I think the good thing about NIO is you're allowed to, is you can play off of a level like that and literally just have 1s to 99 or 99s with a 2 or 3 stop and then just see if it goes. And if it goes, usually going to go at least 10 pennies in your favor, and looks pretty good. Volume's going to be high on any Chinese name for obvious reasons, and there's always going to be headline risk. You have to factor that in. But yeah, that was one that I missed yesterday, not even noticing that this got right down into that $3 level. Yikes.
Yeah, Lucid, we were talking about how good, not how good, but how that one was trying to hold up, and I just wanted to see it. It's not really doing that at all. We had a huge move down yesterday on Lucid as well. Day 2 of a IPO. This name, we were in it. We weren't caught in it. We were just lazy with it, and we wound up getting in at 19, out some at 22, then the rest out at 12, or 11.50 when 12 broke. Finally, we're still at those levels. I just wanted to bring this up again. This will probably be one of those halters again, but if you're trying to go IPO hunting, this is day 2 here for Fat Pipe. And I mean, this is just another one of those plays that I think if you're looking at something, you know, breaking 20 again, that would get me interested, I think. You know, dip buying in here could be fine. But again, on an IPO, dip buying is pretty dangerous. I'd rather play the halts and hope that you catch one here. So that would be something around $20. And then before we go back over the desk, CoreWeave as well, down to 42. This held here yesterday, I mean, held. We went down, went up, then went back in. And then it looks like I was looking at this, holding this $42, $43 area into the close, and that's where we are right now. So, Core, we have a great IPO, really, because you opened at 39, you only spent 1 day underneath it, and then we ripped up to 57, 58, and then, of course, now it just gets punished with the current market. So I don't know if I like the stock, but if the market does get going back up to the upside, I think this name can work. So we'll look at that. My scanners are starting to go right now. Oh, it's because it's 9 o'clock. Look what the E-signal... See how this is? This is brought to you by E-signal, by the way. It just starts to light up. So it's telling us Palantir's moving, Tesla's moving. But it's all just, I would say, because 9 o'clock just hit. So it's probably, yeah, just dark pools. Wow, look at this, even too. Like, I'm saying wow like we're surprised, but like 75 to 79. If there's going to be a stock that gets going, it probably is Palantir. It has the ability to do that. That's all. Like, I took $10 on that, and then look at this move from top to bottom yesterday. Like, we opened up at 82, up to 87, then all the way down to 75. What?
Again,
no Mullen.
I just put it in the chat. Mullen is announcing another reverse stock split. It is number 1 million. It just broke lows. It's because it's going down to 1 cent. So on April 11th, was it 10 to 1? I didn't see the. Sorry, it can't be 10 to 1.
It's 1 to 100.
1 to 100 reverse that just broke lower. I was just.
So this will be worth.
I heard the story. I was about to go in and process to see if I could get the.
They shouldn't be allowed to do this.
No, they shouldn't be allowed to do this. I can't count how many splits they've had in the past, but look, it's doing volume, so. Is what it is. I didn't get the locates fast enough to flat bottom break this because it's not free locates, but that's bad. Everything else is looking pretty good. I mean, NVIDIA just tagged $99, everybody. So, wow. Like, you're up 2% now on NVIDIA. I got to start thinking about it, what I like to the long side here, because you're so far away from that support level. But yeah, NVIDIA looks pretty strong. I think maybe that'll be something I'll shift. Look for some longs in. But let's go talk about the broad market, which has an outside shot to try to go green here before the open.
50.21, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. We're still below that right now. We're actually below 5,000 right now. We're trying to regain 5,000, 49.84. We're well off the lows, Brendo, of that 48.71 that we dipped into. So we actually lost 4,900 ever so briefly. We're trying to get above 5,000. So here's the deal. We're going to look to the overnight, or excuse me, we're going to look to 4,900 as that support area. If we clear 5,000, that'll be our first resistance area, 5,000. If we clear 5,000, we're looking at that overnight high, 50.57 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Absolutely free every single day from us to you. Has everything you need to know on it in the pre-market. And trust me, there's a bit to know today. So let's jump right into it. We'll touch on China here coming up in a second. But first off, we just tagged that it was essentially the close from yesterday on the NASDAQ. And we kind of turned around there in a bit of a hurry. So still red, but only 0.25% here for the NASDAQ. This was kind of interesting. Kathy Wood quoting someone on Twitter, pointing to serious liquidity issues over the past couple of trading days in the overall market, hence the volatility. So even Kathy is feeling the pain as far as the volatility is concerned. Let's touch on, as I mentioned, China, because everyone's going to be focusing, I think, today mostly on China. That's Alibaba, and that's, I think, a good representation of all of these ADRs this morning, gapping up massively on this 84% announcement. If you haven't heard or just joining a little late, hi, good morning, welcome to Tariff Day. 84% retaliatory tariffs coming back from China overnight. We get all of these gapping to the upside. They immediately give all of that gap back to them.
Yeah, Brendo, this tariff war is having a fundamental impact on how U.S. rating agencies are looking at these Chinese ADRs. So Citi cut China's 2025 GDP forecast down to 4.2% from 4.7%, citing little scope for a U.S.-China deal after the recent tariff escalations. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs still project 4.5%, but flagged downside risk. China's official target remains around 5%, despite the fact that Beijing said that might be a hard target there. Tariff pressure is intensifying, obviously, with U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods have surged to 104% after Trump announced an additional 50% because of China's response. China retaliated initially with 34. We'll get to that new number in a second here. And Goldman Sachs saying basically the first 50% tariff hit GDP will be about 1.5%. The next 50% will likely subtract an additional 0.9%. So they're looking at Chinese exports at around 3% of all Chinese exports go to the United States, Brendo. So a bit of a tougher look there. Now, with respect to this new escalation, China hiked tariffs on U.S. goods to 84% from 34%. That's effective April 10th per the State Council office. The move is a direct response to obviously Trump's sweeping trade policy with U.S. tariffs now exceeding 100%, which took place April 9th. The Trump administration warned countries not to retaliate, and China defied this, signaling a hardline stance. By contrast, Japan and as many others, apparently according to the administration, 70 countries are interested. Yeah, I know. He's thinking, Brendo. He's pondering. It's tariff day.
It's tariff day. As we said, a lot to understand. I was just noting the market now pricing in a 60% chance of a rate cut coming up in May. So that could be part of the reason we're headed back to the upside. Just be aware as well, Kashkari is currently speaking. I haven't seen anything of note as of yet, but there is a few Fed speakers too.
Well, everyone else is cutting, I guess. So maybe they're going to.
My count is getting cut in half. So.
Well, I mean, the NASDAQ actually
that's
just
all right.
had
That's
green.
all right.
We just went green.
I know, yeah. Well,
okay, Jinx.
Paid the pause.
The NASDAQ just went 0.01% green and then flat. But you are seeing at least the VIX pulling back. And it's kind of like when it was going up in the afternoon and you caught that little bit of a top. I think the same thing. Like this, we're still above 50. You get back into like 48 in here, you do still have to worry that we get some kind of a bounce. But at this point, I think obviously rate cuts are pretty much exactly what the administration wants, I think. Reprice the debt lower. That's a positive for them. When looking at some of these bounces that are happening, it's like, well, where am I not convinced? I'm not convinced on Apple unless it's above that 178 area. No questions asked. We're going to be talking about them. I look over at Nike, and the bounce in Nike very muted relative to yesterday's trade as well. Like you haven't even gotten back to like the afternoon like dead cat bounce level at 53.5, let alone the bigger level up at 55 on Nike. So I think the names that are getting hit the most by this, that's where I want to look to fade. We're not talking about the pharma names. I like Pfizer today, actually. I mean, well, I don't like Pfizer. I like Pfizer for the short today. And I'm looking at this, prior lows. As long as it's under the prior bottom, 21.5, pre-market tops 21.25. Like that'll be one that we're trying to be patient about for some popping on, for some fades off the top here. But I think it will require patience. A lot of things were gently trending up into the open yesterday, where you had to sort of not sit it out, but you had to wait for it to set up. I mean, Pfizer, now that I look at it, was not one of those. Like it actually fell right away, which is another good sign. But if you like the short, but you've got to be patient. Sometimes things will trend up. Could happen for the entire opening range, and you're just waiting for it to be able to flip. Mara's a better example of that when it eventually rolled over. But yeah, Pfizer into prior day low. I'll be waiting for that to come in. Apple, as long as it's under 178, I think, for me anyways. Oh, but Apple's next.
China, yeah. I was just looking at FXI. I mean, just we talked about Alibaba yesterday, and just looking at it here, FXI. It's huge to be up here again, another 3%, not another 3%, but 3%. I mean, yesterday completely destroyed to the downside. But this is what I'm looking for. Like, this is what we're doing right now. This was yesterday morning, right? Like, we popped, and then this is an easy one. We dropped. So pop it, lock it, drop it. I mean, so I would say that for this, same thing again. You know, it's nice to see it up 3%, the FXI. I would like, if we're going to fade in, I have the sticky note out. I'm just going to push send in a second here. I should have added this. Like, I think 31 here is a good little level that I'm looking at this. It was yesterday's pre-market low, breaking back down below FXI 31. So I want to add that to the mix. You just had Alibaba up, didn't you? Or no? I know we were talking.
I looked at Neo instead of.
Okay, so I was just going to say Alibaba's at 100. That's all. I mean, it's a key level here. If you're going to go long something, this at least is giving us this profile down here where we've held before for 98 bucks. So on a drop down, I don't believe this move. I want to go short. I just don't want to do it till the market opens. I mean, maybe we could do it right now. But at the end of the day, this $98, I think that would be a good hold spot. But if we're going to fade FXI at the open, then I think you look at the same kind of levels, and it looks like right into here, 103 to 103.50 for Alibaba. So if you get anything up into there, you know, it looks like we danced around those levels yesterday. The high of 104.50 would be my out. So we'll write down, there's just so much to look at today, as Brendan and Sharif have highlighted many times. So. All right, Baba, 104.50 short. Take the long at 98 if you like it. I'm not doing that. Let me just see what Mullen's doing here, because
that was good news.
4 cents. I was going to say maybe you get the pop on the reverse split news, but it's getting the drop instead. So I would say that Mullen is probably headed for our good friend Jeffrey Mendel and the OTC markets at some point, because how many times you have to stay? They're doing a 1 for 100. So this is going to go from 4 cents to $4. How long until it gets to $1 again? There has to be another, I have to chat GPT this or something, because there has to be some kind of rules about how many times you can split to stay above $1. And anyways, it doesn't matter.
They're breaking all the rules if there is one.
It doesn't really matter. Mullen Automotive right there. Okay, guys, let's go back over. It's Apple crush. I mean, I don't mind crushed apples, you know? You know what I prefer? Crushed grapes.
Yes.
I might need a couple of those bottles.
Apple you need in a good apple pie. That's what you need.
I don't know why I'm looking at Joseph for apple pie. He ain't never had apple pie, guys. No, not even apple pie. Not even pumpkin pie for my
pumpkin pie.
Yo, turn this guy's mic off. Now he's saying pumpkin. Pumpkin spice latte, I guess? No, he probably hasn't had that either. Now he's throwing shade on pumpkin in general. Wow, man, this guy's living in the wrong country.
We need to get like half a dozen pies and just start eating.
No American pie. No, like American apple pie. Like American.
Come on,
the
man.
Big, like, you never had apple pie.
We're North America, everybody.
This guy's caught too
pumpkin
deep.
pie Thanksgiving.
The thing I like about Joseph is, now he's just rolling with it. You know, it's like now he's staying strong.
Pecan pie's pretty good.
Pecan pie's great. Key lime, you mentioned your favorite pie.
Key lime down in Florida. Every time I'm in Florida, every single meal, I'm like, yo, just get me that key lime pie. And that's how I'm gonna judge you. If you're in Florida and you don't make a good key lime pie, well, I'm thinking twice.
Can someone just send a pie over here?
Anyways, I don't even know what we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh, we're just supposed to be throwing it back.
We should be eating pie on the show.
It started when I talked about apple being crushed, and then I went to wine, and then for some reason I went to apple pie. And then it went right over to my guy over there.
The way these markets are going down, the wine's probably a good idea.
All right. I like rhubarb as well. Yeah, my grandparents have tons of rhubarb in their house. Rhubarb is tough. It's a tough root, but it's good. All right.
What the heck was that?
I don't know. He's definitely not had rhubarb pie. So, all right, back over to the desk.
But it's just the stock.
I'm telling you, it's got to be done right.
Sharif is having problems with rhubarb pie.
But it aren't. Okay, chat. Is it part of the rhubarb pie poisonous? Like, doesn't it have to be cooked in a certain way? I don't know. I get my information from television, Brendo. So you never really know.
The red part is not. I'll tell you that much. I've had quite a few in my life, and I'm still here, barely. Apple is trying to bounce here with the overall market. This was late yesterday. I was actually reading last night. Apple was one of many companies doing this yesterday, but many flights out of China yesterday, full of inventory, restocking shelves ahead of all of these tariffs coming into effect. The thought of a $2,900 iPhone is just unimaginable. But I mean, if that's paired with some sort of tax cut I don't know. I don't see how this works.
And like we complain about them getting more expensive every year. Imagine like with a huge jump like this because of the tariffs. So in addition to flying in new iPhones, Brendo, they're trying to do other things, Apple that is, putting pressure on their suppliers, guys. Case in point, Luxshare, a key Apple supplier of iPhones and AirPods, is in talks to shift more production out of China, including potential expansion into the U.S. That's going to please Donald Trump. In response, obviously, to his new tariffs, which take place today, effective April 9th, Chairwoman Wang Li-chun of Luxshare said she's exploring investment in Southeast Asia, idling some China-based plans, and based on customer guarantees and long-term risk assessments. The company already has facilities in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Mexico, and the U.S., and they're basically looking for customer-driven localization. So they told customers it may localize production in North America if commercial terms are favorable. New production lines, though, Breno, they take a long time. She says about 12 to 18 months for already established factories.
Yeah. Best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
So, I mean, a lot has to happen here, to say the least. Just real quick, this is, the guys are talking about the overall market erasing essentially a year. That's April of 2024 on a daily chart of Apple. So here comes April of 2024 in a hurry here. Apple faring by far the worst of tech at this point, guys.
Well, until it gets down there, I'm not really thinking about the long at all on this bad boy. Let's just, call it, Sharif likes to say call a spade a spade. Yeah, let's just do that. I already said I want to short it into 178 on Apple, and if it gets to that 164 level, there's like a giant over there. I think, but usually, Usually it's fitted in the in that shot. Like you step in the shot and you're like fitted in there. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. Yeah, that Apple chart is just.
It's not good, man.
Yikes! Joe and I had this conversation. There's just a lot of things fundamental things that are just kind of stale. Do they have the staying power? The new was it the 17? iPhone 17? The M4 Max is out, the new MacBooks. But is that the end of the ticket? I don't know. I don't know. Not as exciting as they used to be.
You pile that on top of obviously what's going on. But you have already, you have bled quite a bit. I do think there is a bounce coming.
Apple has
but until I'd like us to test this 164 at least, like one more break of the low, or at least a test of this bottom, and I think you could be kind of good to go here. It is holding 170. It bounced a little bit off that level today, but I'm just kind of thinking fade of relief rally. Apple was one of the names when we were talking about things that were running at the open yesterday. You had to sit around and allow this to trend up from in the pre-market 83 and it got to 190. So it went $7 from when we sit down and start the show with you guys, and then it rolled over. So that's the level of patience required for some of these shorts. And as long as we're underneath that 180, it's 178 to 180. I'm thinking short there. But Rivian Randy is also saying Rivian at 10.
Again, a fundamental bottom there that I've looked at. We talked just a second ago about Lucid. I don't see that for Lucid. And there's others out there. You know how much I love Ford. There's a fundamental bottom with Rivian that I think has a play there, and I'd be willing to get back into it. But we haven't seen. We got 1046. I think it bottomed out at. Yep. So I don't know. There's numbers there that make sense to me. We're just not quite there. I might take a piece and get going on it. We'll see. We'll watch it today. I don't know.
When you see charts like Apple in the overall market pulling back, and you see something which isn't making fresh lows recently, it tends to be a decent sign there. So.
Yeah, and tends to scare the hell out of me sometimes. But I mean, you've got to take that risk. I watch and I go, ooh, should I take that? And it's
got to take a shot sometime.
Yeah, I know. You've got to pull the trigger, but we'll see. We'll watch today.
We'll see if anyone's pulling the trigger on some Meta, maybe. META, Metaverse, VR. Are we going back? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know what's happening this morning. Everyone left. Sharif left too. So we'll, there's gone. We'll talk about Meta. Back to the upside here a little bit this morning, trying to hold on to the aftermarket lows. $500 on the dime. Ends up being support here a little bit in the pre-market this morning. There's not a heck of a lot as far as news, once again, related to Meta. Meta and Amazon, the target of a couple of analysts this morning. I don't think the market cares about analyst notes at this point, considering what else is going on. But Meta's showing a little bit of strength here.
Yeah, and it's a downgrade from Bank of America, Brendo. It's a marked downgrade as well from 765 down to 640. They're basically citing tariff-driven ad spend pressure and negative headlines. Despite the cut, Bank of America maintains a buy rating, pointing to Meta's relative resilience versus its peers. They're talking about headwinds here in the ad market, online ad spend for 2025. They're reducing that by about 4%. Bank of America sees a lower demand materializing following Trump's tariff escalation and the macro tightening. Risk is driven by weaker brand ad budgets and heightened volatility, Brendo. So, not a good look.
This portion of the show brought to you by Venex. Tired of staring at charts all day? What if a robot could trade for you? Meet 4xVIM. 4xVIM is an AI-powered trading bot that scans markets 24/7, executes trades automatically, and even manages risk for you. No emotions, no guesswork, just precision trading on autopilot. It works on MT4, specializes in gold trading, and comes with easy setup plus customer support. Want stress-free trading? Try 4xVIM today. Visit 4xVIM.com or click the link in the description box right now.
I don't hear a whisper.
Oh, maybe I just heard like a crazy whisper. I don't know if that was Fabian. Maybe it was just me. Look, Meta.
Maybe you're hearing things.
I'm always hearing things. I see dead people as well, just so everybody knows just how I roll.
They should do a movie like that.
You know, well, I'll tell you this much. Joe probably hasn't seen that movie because he's not into things that other people like. No, I'm just messing with you, Joe.
Wow, Neil sharpening the knife.
What I love about Joe is like he's just so chill with it. And later on, I'm not gonna do it now. We have 9 minutes till the open.
Joe knows he's had pie before.
But I have to promise everybody, I saw the hands down most impressive level of discipline on my train home yesterday.
Oh man.
There was a gentleman who I swear I even messaged Sharif and I said, there is a dude who was about to get knocked out on my train. I've never seen this before. This guy has more patience than I've ever seen. I'll tell you guys the story a little bit later on when things slow down, but that's just a brief thing. I've never seen this happen on my train. Meta, nasty, ugly, all that good stuff. What's interesting about Meta, when you had that big, massive push to the upside, when you had that push to the upside in the morning yesterday, it went right into the prior low. Like it was a monster 550 level on Meta from November. It was a November bottom, and then you go back to 2024, like that breakaway price at 550. So I'm not saying we get there, but I think that's going to be a bit of a fade spot for Meta. I just can't say I'm looking at that name. We're looking at Apple today. I have Neo on the brain. I have Intel back on the mind. And then, Pfizer. That's another one we're watching here. But I think it's a little too far away from the obvious support area in front of the 550 on Meta. Everything just has to settle down. And it wouldn't surprise me, even if we're bouncing, it wouldn't surprise me if we just go sideways under the 200 period moving average as opposed to bounce through it. So I think looking for resistance underneath that makes sense on a lot of these big names.
All right, I'm just getting some stop orders ready. So I know Randy was here for Apple, but I had written down here on the sticky note, and I was not expecting, obviously, when we're writing this note, that market's down here at 16.9. But I had written down Apple 173 short. So we're at 173, like right now. So I'm getting, like, I'm feeling fine about maybe shorting this right off the open. But again, like that's a pretty aggressive move, and the reason why we like this 173 was kind of where we were at right there on the bump in the aftermarket, or as we get into the close there yesterday. I guess it wasn't the after; it happened with the imbalance. Right there into 173, 174. So we're getting into an area now. I've moved it up to like 175, 176 to look at this level here, because this is the one now. We're already through. So if we do get these imbalances, which are going to be coming out very, very soon, in a matter of a minute and a half, right now you got sell, buy, sell, buy. So there's been a couple days in a row here we've had all sells, and yesterday we had all buys. Now today we're mixed up. Walmart is hosting in like an investor day today, so Get ready for more news on Walmart. The CEO or CFO is speaking right now as we're going from 81.50 up to 82.50. So watch out for Walmart today. It could be an aggressive move there. So we're a little bit running out of time. Let's go. Neil just covered Meta. I think it's going to be the same for many of these names. If you like the tech space, I would say for right now, you can nibble into some of these names that you like just because of how far down we've been. But I don't know about right at open. I'm going to let the market try to settle down. The only aggressive name tech-wise I'm looking at off the open is going to be Apple. Meanwhile, Delta.
Decent report, actually, coming through from Delta this morning. It was nicely up here in the pre-market. We give most of that back, but we're right back to highs right now. Yeah, almost 4% here for Delta. They did reaffirm full year 2025 outlook. So they did give a cautionary note in the sense that there's a lot of uncertainty and they don't really see how that's going to play out, but they reaffirmed their outlook. So that's positive going into, again, if anyone's just joining, earnings start this Friday. We get banks on Friday, and then it's just everything.
It's crazy. I can't believe how quickly that comes. All right, let's talk about what they did, guys. So they reported earnings, as Brendo mentioned. Q1 EPS, 46 pennies, beating that 38 the street wanted. Adjusted revenue, I don't know why they have two numbers here for revenue. Adjusted revenue, $2.98 billion, in line with estimates. Net income continues to grow year over year. $240 million in take-home money. That's up from $37 million last year, so a marked move there. Total revenue, $14.04 billion. That's up 2% from last year. Demand weakness, though, spurs capacity freeze. What do I mean by that? So Delta will halt second half of 2025 flying expansion due to what they call softening bookings, reversing earlier plans to grow by about 3 to 4%. CEO Ed Bastian cited broad consumer and corporate confidence deterioration beginning in mid-February. I wonder why. Tariff policy blame for the demand hit here, Brendo. Bastian directly criticized Trump's shifting trade policies as the wrong approach, linking them to falling consumer sentiment and corporate travel pullbacks. And there is some segment trends here with the main cabin and corporate bookings are weakening, but premium and international flights continue to see good demand.
Not much on the crypto side of things as far as news is concerned. We did hold the lows from yesterday, gave back a lot, though, once again yesterday. So here we are. This is IBIT, but right at that aftermarket low right now, guys.
We want to say a big welcome to everybody. Over 10,000 people joining us before the market.
Awesome.
I was waiting for those bangs down there. Apple
the best trading show on the planet.
No. That's nice. Get rid of that for now. No, because we only have 2 minutes. We'll run that after. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe and all that.
Cut off.
I cut myself off there.
No, but that one is long. It's long.
That was me cutting myself off.
That one's long.
I'll do that in a minute. Thanks, Fabian. But no, Apple just dropped off of that 173. That's the mark that we had. We maybe should have taken that in the pre-market. I just want to show you, because the imbalances are now out, there's Apple with a sell. So I just wanted to show that. We have, and Neil mentioned Intel, so Intel's with a buy right now. Alibaba's caught a sell. Other than that, like Snapchat, you snap your fingers and this thing might be at $5. So we'll have to watch out for Snapchat there as well. But I don't know. I always look at the Jets ETF. I've talked about this over and over again. This is not like Garrett Wilson or anything like that as part of the Jets. Who are the Jets quarterbacks this year? They have
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields and Winston, I think it was.
No, he's
in New York Giants. Yeah, Justin Fields. Okay, so this ETF is coming up. I mean, if you like, this is what I was going to say. If you like Delta's report there today, more to come from other airlines. The Jets ETF holds all of the airlines in one and basically equally weighted of the top 5. So you can look at this name right here, getting into some support levels, goes all the way back to August. And yeah, I like, as far as an ETF, finally finding, I mean, I don't think we're doing anything crazy here, but this move for Jets ETF, if you like the space, I think this is where you go. Don't pick individual names. You could just grab an ETF right now. It's probably a little safer. So I like this down here. Could be a good buy. Just looking somewhere else other than the stock.
Yeah, I think if you look at that range on the bottom there, someone said, how can we go sideways? Remember how big the ranges are the last couple of days? So inside days are massive. For like I'm looking at Mara. We're gonna talk crypto because it's the only name in crypto that I'm looking at. As long as we hold underneath 78,000, 11 short Mara. As long as we hold underneath 80,000 or 81,000 technically on Bitcoin, then the 12 short. And this range is $2 on a $10 stock, and it's done it both days in a row. So if we say sideways, you could be an inside day on some stocks, and you're talking about 10, 15%. Others, it's like 5 or 6%, and you've just got to be able to adjust to that. Mentioning Intel as well. Let me just get rid of that trend line we're playing off of yesterday. 19 even is going to be a look. This is another stock that did a 52-week low breakdown just underneath that 19 even mark. So as long as it can hold underneath, I'm looking to fade some pops in this as well, just kind of going right back to the same well. And I think it's just true if we do get a move up, like Intel was right at 930, it caught a bid and went about 3% upside and then held for about 20 minutes and then rolled over. So the level of patience, it didn't actually start breaking down till 10:30 on this stock, and then it fell for the rest of the day. So I don't mind being patient with this kind of a short or any one of the ones that we're looking at. But you know what time it is, everybody? It is going to be a wild one. This bell brought to you by Worksport, WKSP on the NASDAQ. Shout out to Worksport. Add it to your watch list today. And let's get this hump day, tariff day, fixed day going right now.
All right, the market is now open. Welcome. It is 9:30. Thank you to everybody. We are getting close to our AMD sticky note level of $80. So I'm going to try the short here. Apple also going right back to 173. So the market's trying to get going a little bit here. If we can, Fabian, there it is, $80 right now for AMD. We'll probably get into this. I'm waiting at 79.95. I would have liked to grab that. It just went to 90s right there as that's moving around. And then Apple's dancing around our 173 area as well. This is more interesting to me. I don't want to go short on this. I don't know. Like, I'm offering Apple now 176, but we are right here right now. I don't want to get involved too early on this, but we are at the levels that we were thinking. AMD's the one that actually faded off of $80. Maybe that did have that huge move up there. We were waiting at 95. It went to 85. So we do miss that one. And there goes Apple bouncing around our levels right now. Let's be as patient as we possibly can with Apple. I'm going to try to go short 175.50. So if we get near 176, Apple's on my mind. AMD's still here as well. The other name that we had for a possible runner was being Palantir. You know, we've had huge moves in this one. So if we can get anything up here, then that would probably be a short again around $80.50. So right now, the NASDAQ, Neil, pretty flat to start.
Catching some bids here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just Apple.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Apple
it might just be Apple catching a little bit of a bid here as it's now through 174. There is a halt. That ICCT stock, iCore Connect, is halted at $4. That's the right one. Yeah, ICCT halted to the upside. Probably a volatility halt, I'm assuming, at this point. The other name, not really trading that one or looking to trade it. The other name we're looking to pop and fade was, remember, Pfizer in front of pre-market lows. Sorry, yesterday's lows at 21.5. It's not even getting anywhere near there. So it's showing sellers at 21.2. If it comes up there and does it one more time, I'll take a shot in front of the quarter. Otherwise, we're still waiting for our price to come in there on Pfizer. And similar story with Intel. Intel now breaking the quarter. It's the $0.50 that I want to be short on Intel. So this is actually starting to come in on INTC. One more push, and we should be short this name.
Yeah, so I'm going to take not too many risks here today, but we are in something already. It's Advanced Micro Devices. I like this name at $80. So we just ran to 80. We've already been down to 79 and change low time, and then we just bumped up here in the last minute, up 2.5%. This is not a day to be stubborn. If this breaks $80.50, we are gone. So it cratered yesterday in the afternoon. Let's see if we can get the same similar action right now. We are now short AMD. There it is. Okay, good. We are now short AMD at these levels. I'm only saying good. I mean, I'm going to cover a little bit at 80 if we can get that, take 20 cents. But at the end of the day, we're looking for 50 plus cents here on AMD because our risk is up to that top of $80.50. So we'll wait to see where this goes. Target area really to get it. Okay, there we go. We just get 80s. Now we're almost 50 cents in the money. Target area would be 79 to get a decent spot out. So let's put out 20% or so in and around 79, and then we'll see if it can go down. There it is. It's your 1-to-1 winner right there. So far, 50 cents in the money on our posted. And if you're following at Trader TV Sean, you'll be able to see the sticky note there as well. Okay, man. Apple just went for a run, Neil. So now Apple is all the way up, and we are now short Apple 175.75.
It's going to get to that. It might get to that 178 level. Just took one shot. There we go. I just got into Intel for the first time there. Had to go there first. I want to show you Pfizer, but Intel was about to fill, so we had to show you guys in real time. Pfizer just did a run and broke that 21.2 level. So risk it only about 7 cents. It is 21.40 to 21.50, yesterday's high that I'm looking for in here. We want to play at that level, so took one shot when it showed resistance. If it goes any higher, obviously we'll take another shot at it again. I liked Apple in front of 178, so it's starting to get into that target zone. We're going to get a bit of a curl. So we are short Intel, looking for Apple. I want it a little bit higher than this. If you're watching out, NVIDIA just turned hard off $100, so I think we're going to be headed to the downside.
Yeah, we're huge right now, guys. Spin the money one more time. We're huge on Apple. Again, this is the thing. Like, we talk about having confidence, and you know, when you've had a couple great days, this is you know, we were just able to put on some shares there. So I am starting to catch a little bit out here, as this was the exact level that we said we were waiting at 175.75. So there's Apple. We did put it on. We're already. We're at our day's goal now. I said that we would talk like that when we hit it. And this is part of that part-time job thing that we're talking about. We're now $1, we're down $2 in the money, including AMD making that move down. And there goes Apple. Apple's your first dollar club. Thank you to everybody who is watching right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. There it is again, man. It's $1 in the money for Apple. And we talked about why we like to short at these levels. There it goes again, man. We did it yesterday, the day before. We're doing it again. We're starting to cover, though, as Apple downside. We're almost up as much today as we were yesterday, but that doesn't matter. This can all change on a dime, man. We're not scoreboard watching. We are just trading. And if this market wants to fall, fine. I'm already out of exactly half of Apple right now as we make that dollar move. And AMD also, man. Wow, Neil, this is, I don't know, you're short too good. So this has been a great, great morning here to go short and just to play off the rhetoric that we've been playing off of. And that is fade the pops, and it's working again. So there it goes, man. Good morning so far, but we are not resting on this. We are covering, we're taking it, and then we're going. So that's that, man. AMD more than 1-to-1 right now. Apple's huge. We're really enjoying trading one more time.
Get down.
Yeah, go.
Well, look, I want to show you guys the VIX in a quick little second, but we got back in. If we ever get wicked out, well, I mean, most traders will say this, but I'll speak for myself. I say we a lot. If I ever get wicked out, and it sets right back up off the pre-market highs and just jumping back into the trade there. So we did get Pfizer back in. Intel did give us one fill up top there. I didn't want to chase this, so we're looking for the low of the day at this point, and we're going to continue to short pops. The other short that I just said we again, Mara, it didn't get to 11 bucks here. So it got to 1080. That's pretty close. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping it'll bounce off VWAP to let us get the short off 11 here in Mara. But for now, it's just going to be Intel and Pfizer. As for everyone watching, when I said we curl off $100 on NVIDIA, right to 99.5, U-turn, and absolutely, I mean, like we always said, like the market's been dumping whenever we've been popping off the open. NVIDIA is going to be a big bellwether for sure. So we got a couple of shorts on. I did miss out on Mara. That's one that we wanted. And I had to take a look at some point when we're covering some of these at NEO, because I wasn't actually sitting on the bid at that even dollar level. And it bounced clean again off $3. So NEO keeps bouncing off 3. The next time it trades down there, I'll be paying more attention.
Yeah, I am. I'm starting to cover like crazy right now. I mean, this market is trying to bounce pretty decently here back up to the upside, so I don't want to rest on this. We've already talked about getting out. I just switched my stop to 176.25. So if we bust through 176.25 on Apple, I'm out, man. It's stronger, much stronger than I thought. I mean, we're still here. We're at the highest spot we've been at today because the market's just bouncing around here, and we keep on scalping out. So I'm just going to stay with that tune right here. It's the top 2 trades on the sticky note today that I had, AMD and Apple. And we sat here. We talked about those. Thank you, Randy, for sitting in for me for a second. Just because. And then there it goes right now. So watch out for AMD and watch out for Apple. Remember where our stop is, 176.25. If we break above that, then we are gone. But here it comes in. There it is, man. I mean, we just keep on. Look how this is dropping, and look what we're doing. We're starting to scalp out of Apple right now. It's a good day. We're at that 1-day target for ourselves. But, I mean, it's just wild. Apple's moving at dollars at like back and forth through this 75, 76. AMD now trying to go. Let's hold on to this one a little bit longer, but AMD trying to make that move lower here as well. We're bidding 175 flat now for Apple. Yeah, you're still.
Look,
I like
it's still the same too. Pfizer just hit 21, caught a bit off the even dollars, so it's going quarters to the evens. It's just trading 1 point back and forth. Intel looking like the second you said AMD, or I think you said AMD coming back up, Intel bounced off the even dollar as well. So both of these names giving you opportunities, but it's not, we're still inside day. So right now, like the NASDAQ is still chilling out underneath this 17.4. Like we break out that 17.4, I'm not reloading at these highs. I'm just going to get out at those tops.
All right, so I got out of Apple there. Yeah, everything broke.
There we go. I just realized everything's breaking higher. So I'm getting out, not Pfizer, because that's actually still down and holding underneath support or resistance, but we just got out of Intel. I don't want to reload if we're taking out those tops on the NQ. Going to be patient. As I said, this didn't fall apart, Intel, that short, until 10:35. So I don't mind taking multiple shots and then just getting back in over and over again. Let's go to
breaking news, baby.
Donald Trump sharing a series of posts on Truth Social right now. About 6 minutes ago, he posted, "Be cool, everything is going to work out well." And then 2 minutes ago, he posted, "This is a great time to buy," all capital letters. So Donald Trump here trying to push the stock market to the upside with his "this is a great time to buy" post coming out just minutes after the stock market opened. Back to you.
Not really.
I think he said it's happening.
There's so much volatility in this market right now. Look, we're breaking away right now. Like, forget about it. We just got
what
to
am I short here. AMD.
We just got to 178 in Apple. So this is the afternoon resistance on Apple. This is where I wanted to take a shot. So I was not sitting on the offer out in front. Give me something in front of 179. If we just fail 178, then we're just going to try and get back in underneath the 178 level. But again, this market is starting to scream to the upside. As anybody can see, I'm showing you guys Apple, but the NASDAQ is now 1% up. Still trying to play the patience game. I've cleared out of Intel, but that's approaching that $18.50 level. So both of these starting to come into play. Pfizer's actually right. Like, it's weird because Pfizer's at the same price that we're short. So I guess that's not really going as much. So that's not the one that we're going to be concerned
or what? Like, is this going to be a day that we start to go back to the upside here? Because we just took a couple shorts there. Our TQs, we had wrote down 40 to 41. So I had stupid me, I had an offer there on AMD. We got in and out of that real quick. I had an offer sitting there I should not have. Once we got punched out of AMD, that should have been it. So we actually, it looks like we did get a little more shares there, but that was a mistake. So I just punched long the futures. So there was our 40 short, and I was just like, you know what? We want to get out if it broke 40, 50. And then when that happened, we reversed into the long. So here we go, man. Now the long is printing, baby, as we get back up there to the upside. We're just trying to play momentum. I think this is going to be a exercise in like being able to scalp and at the same time risk managing how many shares at what level you want to get out, because we could have that huge runner one more time right here again. So there goes the triple Qs moving to the upside. Dara?
DJT also up here. So in case you missed it, Donald Trump, President of the United States, posted on Truth Social, "This is a great time to buy." But he signed the tweet DJT. Those are his initials, but they're also the name of the stock DJT. So DJT running here, again, could be coincidental, but worth noting DJT popping here after Donald Trump signs his "this is a great time to buy" stock with the initials DJT. Back to you.
I think about this, like, how is a president even allowed to have a stock? I mean, this is absolutely, I don't know, man. Charlie's in the chat is like clown show. I don't know what show this is.
We're not supposed to talk about politics.
We want to thank every. No, it's not about politics. That's
I'm just trying to keep
I'm
trying to keep my mouth shut.
It's just like, imagine there was a stock like that was Obama or something. I don't know, whatever, man. There's the reverse Pelosi or whatever.
Yeah, like, well, in a world where Pelosi can do whatever she wants,
well, anybody.
What are you supposed to say? The rules are. You know what? At the end of the day, the rules are the rules. And if you're allowed to do something, don't hate on somebody for following a rule. Change the rule if you don't like it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's what my dad always told me. And I know you get all cynical. Just look, I'll do a couple of things. I'll try to do a couple of things at once. Obviously, Pfizer broke that 21.25 level, as you guys can.
This is not.
Hopefully, you can plainly see there. I didn't reshort it at 21.40, so I'll slap the fail on myself for getting out and not getting the short at the prior day low. Apple just curled right into the top here, resisted 179, immediately had buyers, and I'm talking about like legitimate buyers at 178 here, that's holding the top end of the range. If we hold 177, this could just be rip your face off rally. I need to show you guys the VIX as well. The VIX is really pulling back. We just broke 50 downside on the VIX, which Under 50, it's weird. Like, we're pulling back right now, but under 50, I kind of think you should be bullish a little bit if we're reducing, if we're getting back underneath that level. But we're going to play this. I don't think it's a VWAP trend play. It was way too crazy to the upside to think the first move is going right into VWAP. I think that's absolutely nuts. It's a scalp into 77 for me. If VIX is under 50, I just can't see any reason why this is a monster reversal. We'll take what we can get on Apple, and I got to look over at that Pfizer and ask myself what the heck I was doing. I know I was going over to Apple, but it's brutal because it came right to my level, and I did not reshort it, and now it's pulling back in. So we'll take the scalp on Apple, but it's only 15 minutes in. We didn't truly reverse until like 30 to 40 minutes into the market open yesterday. So I'm trying to play this one a little bit patient. Scalp until we're certain which direction it's going, which I'm not convinced. And the VIX isn't really giving me the same feels as before. I'm going to put that up on a chart that I don't have to slide over. It is bouncing at $50, as you can see on this 3-minute chart here. So you're getting a little bit of a shelf. But if we just continue to hold underneath 50, this should be a long day.
Damn, we wrote down, I mean, I just overtraded there because we had written down here on our TQs, 40 to 41 short. That's exactly what just happened, 40 to 41 short. Like that was, and now you're printing 39.80s. Like the highest we got was 41 right there on the TQs, looking to fade any pops. And instead, I wind up going long in the middle there because I was like, we're breaking and we're going. So, yeah, we'll slap a fail on us overtrading there at the open once again. I don't think once again. I mean, this is about those times where we were hitting some big trades. So I don't know about overtrading or not, but that we should have respected our levels there a little bit more than what the market was trying to tell us. Okay, anyways, 17.5. Maybe if we're looking at the NASDAQ there, we can have another look. That just touched the 50-period moving average on the 30-minute chart for the NASDAQ for the Qs. So, yeah, definitely a nice little pop there. Let's see if it is now brought to you or creates this drop. I mean, you know, you don't ever want to be buying right off the open or maybe selling off the open, but here we go. So there it is, man. I'm a little bit embarrassed about not following my own rules, but at least we make it back here a little bit. We'll make it back for sure, but we should be short higher. So, yeah, that's the market, and pretty wild there today. We had written that down. We should have had that. The other play that we were on, of course, was Apple. Apple's still a positive name for us, pretty nicely, and then AMD as well. We get stopped out there, but we had only written down 80 for AMD. So the fact that it went to 81.30, I'm not going to hold that at $1.30 when I think the market's popping. So, yeah. Out so far of 20% of the TQs as we get a 60 fill. We'll wait to see if there's anything else. We're short 92s. We got 65s there for 20%, 25%.
Yeah, like those were crazy spikes. But look, the setups are still looking okay here. So we had Intel early, kind of came out there, but it's still looking really good off that 18.5. You're getting the lower high that you want. Pfizer is still setting up pretty much exactly the same way. Apple's still catching a bid off this 176. So we scalped it out as the VIX was looking like it's bouncing. But this could end up just being one of those make some lower highs and work back in to everything to the south side. Mara also was exactly what you wanted off the 11 level. But I'm just going to keep on the same 3. I mean, complicating it with trying to throw Mara in there, not going to make any sense. So it's Intel, Pfizer, and Apple for myself. If we bounce off VWAP, first lower high, I'm taking Intel short for sure one more time here.
Boom.
The shorts did work, so we're up on the shorts. It's just a matter of trying to find my way back into them as the VIX is now bouncing.
Yeah, big time move here, big time move here in the TQs, man. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. We'll see. We finally reverse our position. Not finally. I mean, we should be $1.50, 150 handles or 150 cents in the money here on the TQs, but we do not have that trade. We only have the short rate here at 40. So we're going to get some out here. Again, it's been a topsy-turvy, up and down kind of a day right here for the market as we've just been sort of talking about that. Oh, boy, man. So the NASDAQ holding out highs right now. We're not holding out highs, but holding out greens. Not bad. I don't, the market is about to figure this out, because look at the 50-period moving average, right? I mean, once we broke it there, we came back and we tested, we came back and we tested. So I want to see the TQs get back into this level, into the 50s, 50 range, which would be 17,265 on the NASDAQ. Where does that look like on the TQQs? So yeah, 39.20. So you know, if we can get there, I do have some bids. Actually, I do not. We just got filled on our bid at 39.40. I'm going to put another one here. So we're out of half. So just like the tariffs, man, we're applying a 50% tariff to our position right there, and we got out of half. So I'm going to put another bid down there at 39.30s for about 20% of what we have left, and then we'll see if we can get that fill, and then we'll go from there. So right now, tariff action on my position. Look at this. There's the move right back in the NASDAQ again. So it's just a back and forth type of thing. You might be right with being flat there, but at the end of the day, it's going to have to make some moves. I don't know if we have any economic numbers or anything coming through there, but
today it's just the big one's going to be obviously the Fed meeting minutes, and then you get crude oil inventories at 10:30. But like if I shorted Intel, it's above VWAP and bouncing off VWAP, so it's kind of at that spot that you don't want to make a decision. Kind of hoping we'd get a little bit of a bounce. It ends up being like AMD's got a trend starting to form. So this is now the third lower high that gets put in. So this might just be a trend reversion type play. And I can't believe I didn't even say anything about Nike, the retail name here. That was another like pump and dump. I'm looking for one of these to set up cleanly, either short off the high or short underneath VWAP. It's just a matter of which one is going to be next. Because I'm still thinking just get back into the shorts, but be patient on any kind of a market bounce here. Still only about 950 and plenty of time. Come on, hold VWAP and get us something in front of 1850. I would love Intel to be the one. There's a lot of things that are moving around big. Like Tesla's about to break out the highs, but as you can see, this is not the name that I'd be looking to short, not Tesla. You're seeing a lot of strength relatively in here. If it's already at the top and the NASDAQ's at the top, I want something that hasn't got there yet. That way, if we fade, you're looking at a relatively weak name. That's going to be Intel. That's going to be, Mara's underneath VWAP, Bitcoin's underneath 78,000. One of these two is going to set me up for a short. It's just a matter of which one comes in first here, everybody. So you got to be patient. Like this is all green candles on the NASDAQ on the 15 since we bounced. So there have been some good scalp trades to the short side, but you've been fighting kind of a gentle breeze as the NASDAQ is up 1%. That's why I'm flat at this moment and not going to fight to get into a short just yet. Like Pfizer just got back into the highs. So we think we got pretty fortunate there. Apple's right back at the 178 where we had it before. We were fortunate to be able to get one little dump on Pfizer before it broke the high. Show me a topping tail candle at resistance. Then I can get in with tight risk.
We almost got filled again on our short for the TQs there, man. Almost. $40.30 is where I'm trying to, hopefully we get it. I'm just trying to be patient, as Neil had mentioned there, because... All right, go. Give us, okay, there we go. So we get some shorts now. I'm just going to wait for this 41 to break. The high of the day right here, 41.10, 41.15s. So I'm just going to go there. It's going to have to take out the top. And if it does that, then our position will get run and will be red on the TQ. So we're going to wait to see if that does happen, because we don't want to be fooled one more time here. Like, look, if it goes up, it goes up. We're going to have some ideas there. I want to be short this market until proven otherwise. That 17.5 just held pretty good. These are the levels that we want. Again, we started too late, but that's why we covered half. We talked about that. We talked about that tariff, having a tariff on our position. So that's exactly what we wound up having there, as now we wait to see where these futures go exactly. We had written down 41. We'll wait for that. Look, we want to make sure that everybody does scan that QR code, register, get those accounts popping on ProfitX, man. Honestly, if you are a bettor, a sports bettor, anything like that. We talked about the Masters, anything. Just go check out the odds, sign up, register, get going with ProfitX, and just enjoy those odds. I think you're going to make more money using ProfitX than the other side, because again, better odds, that's what we're looking for. Check out ProfitX as fast as you can. Get over there, log in and sign up. All right, we have our last little tranche to the short now. For the TQs, we just got $40.75, and that's about it. We're going to wait now to see if we do fall back in. I'm hoping Adara has some kind of news here about tariffs. I don't know. Let's see. What's up, Adara?
related, but one thing that is not news is make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content that we're bringing to you today. And if you like smaller cap names, I may have a mover for you. It is AEHR. This is Ayer Test Systems. They reported earnings yesterday, just pulling back now from day's highs. And Ayer beat on EPS and sales, though they did withdraw their guidance. 25% short float. Again, like and subscribe. You guys were asking earlier as well about economic data today. We do have a print at 10 a.m. Wholesale inventories and wholesale sales. Back to you.
Oh, we had them last night.
They reported last night for the aftermarket show. Look, I just noticed that I can get back into Pfizer off that high, but Mullen, with their announcement of their 1 to 100 reverse split, the umpteenth time they've done it, it's actually trending down on good volume. So it's done 50 million shares, and we're not even at 10 o'clock. It's going to do a couple 100 million shares today. I paid for locates, and it's respecting VWAP. So if you see me pop into Mullen, suffice to say the plan is to short it into VWAP. The volume-weighted average price, for anyone that's not familiar with it. So I'm just going to get that in right about now. If you see it pop in, I just don't want, whoops. Oh, muscle memory is a you-know-what. I just offered 40 cents instead of 4 cents. See, even I can't adjust to the fact that it's a 4-cent stock. Oh, goodness.
I don't like trading those sub-penny ones.
I started out, I started out as a penny stock trader, so
yeah,
it's just one of those things. Anyways, it's been trending down. We had to pay for locates on the stock. They were not free, but I can tell you they were like like 1/100th, or it was like 1/100th of a cent or something like that. So we're back into Pfizer because it ran that high. Intel is not really doing the same thing. That's a good lower high. I was kind of waiting for the 1850 level, but we still want this short. The other way that I can play this, well, you've got a trend since the open that can just break. So this is a little bit of a trend line. If we close under the trend line at any point, I'm shorting Intel one more time. Well, I shouldn't say one more time, another time here. So we're back into Pfizer. I might get Mullen, looking for the Intel trend reverse or short off the high of the day. It's just about patience. This trended up in the open yesterday before falling apart. So not averse to waiting around for this to happen. Exactly how we want.
Yeah, so we just got a 37 fill there on the TQs. Obviously, we're short at 24s. It's not, I took out 10% there just because, like, I was like saying to myself, get down, get down. It's like, it's not really working. And the other thing about this is we've bounced off the 50-period moving average a bunch now, so we'll have to wait and be patient with it. Let's go back over to Tesla. If there's some more names here that we can look at for you guys for sure. The trade rate right here, there's Tesla 231 and change. The trade rate now is telling us Apple, AMD, Amazon, Robinhood up 3% right now. Intel, I know you were on that, up a little anyways, 1% to 1830. NVIDIA is the one that's blasting right now. NVIDIA's at $100 right here. So that's a nice little move up over 3% right now, up 4% for NVIDIA, as the market is being led basically upside by NVDA. I mean, Apple, obviously, we had made money on the short and scram out of that one. Tesla also up 4.5%. There goes NVIDIA right now. Look at the 50-period moving average today. If and when we ever break VWAP, these stocks are dead. So wait to see if that ever happens, because you're respecting. No VWAP touch on NVIDIA yet. What about Apple for VWAP touch? No, not even close, as Apple starts to go up higher. And then, of course, the position that I have would love to get some VWAP, and I don't think that's going to happen, but at the end of the day, if we can get something at 39.50 for these futures, we're wrong right now, but we're at the levels we like. We're still don't have the right price. We should be short right here between, we wrote down again, $40 to $41. So ideally, I'd like to be short in the middle on this name, but all right, IWM, 175. Wow, so many of these indexes have just been clocked, right? The Russell here, down to 175, 176. Another low name, we talked about that with Raider Trader last week as well, I believe, 175 IWM. But all right, here we go, man. The market's starting to go. We still have the short on board, and we've got Adara with some more breaking news.
We have PACB on watch here, PAC Bio or Pacific Biosciences. Nice push to the upside for this company, saying that this morning they basically announced preliminary earnings for fiscal 2025, reiterated their guidance, and said they're going to be executing a plan to reduce their headcount. So some layoffs here or employee cutbacks in response to ongoing market uncertainty. So PACB on watch, nice push to the upside for this one. And again, in just a couple of minutes, we will have these wholesale numbers, but also I'm just seeing a headline here. Apparently, Amazon seeking partners for a $15 billion warehouse expansion plan. Keep an eye on AMZN and PACB. Back to you.
PACB spike earlier. Kathy Wood name, if my memory serves, at least back during COVID it was. I'm like 99% sure about that, but we just got back into Intel. It just came right into $18.50, which is the prior 52-week low. Grabbed it on the way back in here at 42. I happen to love, 41.5. I use midpoints a lot in this stock. So I have 41.5. I'm going to bid into VWAP because if you're trending and holding it, if you're holding trend and you're holding the volume weighted average price, then you should at least respect that if you're going against the grain, or at least that's the way I try to look at it. Pfizer as well, that's the only other name we're in. Pfizer, same story. We're off the highs and just taking profit whenever it gives that move down into the volume weighted average price. NVIDIA is now holding buyers above 100 for the first time here today. It wicked 100 the first couple times in there, but now you're holding buyers out and about above. So this is not a spot where you don't want to take profit on your shorts. It's not a spot where I want to fight anything past the highs. If you break that prior bar high or the high of the day, whatever you're using for now, it's just going to be getting right out. Because if NVIDIA takes 101, I'm starting to think that should be a long. That was afternoon resistance, and it's really showing you an ascending wedge into it after that massive bounce. But not just yet. We're still in the opening range. Like, we're only now at the opening range in the first 30 minutes, everybody. So exactly like yesterday, it feels to me, where you're trending into some highs and you're just trying to make sure that you can hold on to your shorts and try not to get blown away, because we're finding resistance up here. And if you look at what's going on in most of the same stocks, it's exactly the same thing. Trend into a flat top.
I'm trying to get out because we have some numbers coming through. Yes. So let's go over to Adair quickly for happening now.
Wholesale inventory numbers here coming in. Looks like a revision for February. Wholesale inventories in about 5 seconds. We're expecting 0.4% versus 0.3% previous. Coming in 0.3%, so a little bit lower here than the forecast of 0.4%, in line with the previous print of 0.3%. Wholesale sales month over month well above estimates here, 2.4% versus 0.8% expected. So again, slightly lower than expected wholesale inventories and higher than expected wholesale sales. Here's the NASDAQ still chopping here around day's highs. In case you missed it, right after the open, a couple minutes after the open, President Donald Trump posts on his Truth Social account, this is a great time to buy, and also tells people to, quote, be cool. So interesting note here on the market pushing higher, I guess, taking that advice. Here is Alibaba. We know these Chinese ADRs are on watch here as well. After the U.S. announced a 104% tariff on China, China announced 84% tariff for the U.S., so they added to those tariffs here as well. META, much like the market, pushing today's highs, but Meta and Amazon, as well as Tesla, amongst some names getting price target cuts or downgrades in this market. Meta getting a price target cut from BofA Securities this morning. Back to you.
Right. We got stopped out on that number right there. Bloomberg and Amazon, we just talked about that, the warehouse expansion plan there for them. So that, of course, is Amazon. That high there, Is that wholesale number good enough to rally this market like this? I mean, we're going to wait to see. 41.30. I'm going to give it one more shot here on our good friend here, the TQs and the futures, just to see if that rally up was, not falsified, but we'll wait. But there goes the market, taking out the highs there, now up 2%. I'm still trying to do what Neil was saying there, is trying to hold on to the short, but still getting stopped out when we're wrong. We did mark down that 41 would probably be our top, but let's just see if that is the exact top here, or if we've just sort of fading around right now. We do go short here. We're short at 41.14s. We're out if it breaks 30s. That's the new high. We're just going to try to see if it can settle down here off that number. Hopefully it does. Maybe it doesn't, but here it comes right back in just a little bit here for the TQQ.
Yeah, I'm just in the same. Well, I did get Mullen, so I guess I'm not in the same.
Oh, trading Mullen, eh? Look at you.
Well, I mean, anytime this moves, I said if it respects VWAP, I'll try to trade off VWAP. But Pfizer just keeps cresting off that exact same high. We haven't broken the prior day low or yesterday's low, so it hasn't really stopped out yet. But you can see it cresting right into it. Intel's doing a similar move, and I want to go show you guys. I'll show you guys Mullen. We break out this, we're just going to jump out. Really, it's weird to say it, but the strongest stock was the cleanest short for me. Sometimes that's how it is. Actually, there's a logic to that, because the more parabolic a move is to the upside, sometimes it's just a better retracement trade. So I think that's why Apple was a little bit cleaner. But you're taking out these highs. My hands are off the keys. I have my stops in place. The only thing I think that has a decent chance not to break out with the market is you know who, because all I'm doing is shorting every single pop and then bidding into low of the day. Oddly enough, it seems like Pfizer, where are my bids on this thing? Pfizer's not, it just did a wick top on Pfizer, and I got to be able to play this in two ways here. It's a clean trend to the upside. If it sets up also as a trend break without breaking the high,
I knew that.
then it's actually an ad for me. Intel stopped out. Nope, 1 cent away we got on Intel.
We were just, again, we're relatively flat. We just took some out there at 41 on the TQs. The market is trying to figure itself out here, but it's above everything. It's at that level of 41, and I don't necessarily want to drop this thing completely yet in case there is this move back in on the futures. I mean, we haven't heard too much positivity out of the White House yet or out of the president, so we'll wait to see as we'll try to hold on to this short and make a little bit back here as the market is trying to fade just a little bit here. But it is also holding bids. I mean, there's as you just mentioned there about NVIDIA holding that Hyundai, now it's way off of that.
You're just holding the trend line on so many stocks. It's like Palantir all over again. Apple's holding higher lows on a distinct trend, but you're not really blowing away the high.
Randy,
this is just like what yesterday's trade was. You say you want to be patient about it, but you're not getting the big dump off just yet. So if we do break the trend, I'm going to look for places to be able to add. Pfizer's holding out for it. I got 1 cent away, which could just be luck more than anything else. A lot of times that's going to be true. Like when you zoom out, you're like, there's a resistance level. You throw your stop above it, and that's where the market decides to go. Or like Intel, like right into here, you throw your stop above, and it never quite breaks down. But this is where we fell apart yesterday, these prices. So you would expect there might be some sellers starting to come back into it. Nick L, bull flag on GME. If Jimmy's going, remember 25. I haven't looked at the chart yet, but 25 was like this ridiculously good-looking breakout top on GME. There it is. Yeah, that's right. So if GME continues this rally and breaks 25, I'm kind of with you on that one because you have a nice little double top in there, but it's about $1 away. So yeah, we do look at those stocks, but I only like squeeze names when they're breaking out. I don't like, not really a buy the dip kind of scenario for me there.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we gave this a little bit more room. Now we're in the money here on this TQQ position, but we did get stopped out a couple times here at 41. So the fact that it's dropping now, yay for that. But we're looking for a little bit lower now on this trade because we had gotten stopped out at the top side of this. So there's get it in. I'm bidding 54s right now. If it's going to bounce off 55s for random reasons, then it's going to be a bad day. There it goes.
Do like Jersey Shore and get it in.
Ouch, you went there. That's early, eh? That's a good one. Gym Tan Laundry is what I got to figure out.
You said get it in first. That's
yeah. I'm saying yeah. I got to get the stock, you know.
Literally your fault I watched that show.
It is. Yeah, Jersey Shore is a good show, man.
No, I did enjoy it.
Jersey Shore was one of those shows where it was like one of those phenomenons. Like everybody was watching it for a minute, and I think like season 2 or 3, it kind of lost its. There we go right now. Nice move to the downside right here as we hold on to the short. Now 100 handle or about $1 in the money now on the TQs as we start to fade out. We're short at 41.12, although we have not traded this well today because we just kept on getting stopped out. We have 2 stop outs here at the top. So it's fine to be able to hold this. I mean, we had written this stuff down, and again, we can't. Oh, thank you, Mr. Randy is in the building right now. We say, oh, Canada, not just for Randy, but I mean, Randy's pretty proud Canadian, obviously, as we all are. So shout out to Randy, and thank you for the reload there. It's another up and down kind of day. You know what the lesson of the day is? Be patient, I feel like. Yeah. I think as you get older, the patience level becomes a little bit harder.
Having kids makes you so much more patient, I've found. Maybe
almost makes me less
it matters when they get older. Because you need it.
What are you doing? Yeah, you need it. You definitely need it.
But even, it's one thing to say be patient, but it's another thing to actually like do it in full force. Like this is, you take multiple shots in here, and we're starting to really accelerate. Let's break VWAP before we do the celebrations. Everything is trying to hold it. That's Pfizer. You're going to look at the Future doing a nice topping tail candle. Look, this candle closes red, and we're going to have, I shouldn't say we're going to have, but then you have a somewhat repeat of what we had early on yesterday, and the way that resolved itself, pulled back, tried to bounce off of a prior resistance spot, and failed to do so with a lower high. So if that's the pattern, I want to do that again. Well, okay, I don't want the market to do that again, but that's what we're going to trade for. I don't want the market to fall apart like yesterday, but this is exactly what the pattern was in yesterday's trade, trending up, then trend break.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Carly and everybody? Yeah, we are on a little bit of a roll here, but we didn't. I'm still not happy with the way we traded that. We should be hella short into this move. All right, let's look at something else. Okay, AMD. So you know what? Let's go to another name because Palantir is a name that we haven't looked at too much today. On Palantir, I think I had a much higher level. Yeah, I wrote down 85 for Palantir because I was like, if the market really gets going, then we talked about it. This is a name that I know, we all know can pump up. But the thing is, it already pumped from 8 o'clock, right? So that move started at $75, went all the way to 82, and now fading back in just a little bit. I still have half of this position on the future, so I'm gonna take out another piece right here, right now at 02s, because why not? It's at the 50-period moving average. If you're gonna trade responsibly, you know, we talk about this all the time. Like, there's the bounce, there's the bounce, there's the bounce, there's the bounce. The fact that I don't flatten everything out here is because I do expect, I don't know, but hoping for, I mean, honestly, a lot of trading is hoping that what you think works out. I mean, it's not, we don't have that ability like politicians to influence the market the way we would like to at any given time. It would be nice to be able to do that. You know, it's not like we could just come out and say, oh yeah, he's delaying the tariffs another 90 days. Oh, no. And then the market rips up 10%. And then it's like, nah, psych. That's not confirmed. And then it comes right back in. So we're just going to try to hold on to stock that we believe is the right direction. I believe the short is right, but we are bouncing here. Just look at all of, see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that stop. We got right back in. We got stopped out right there. But we're just going to get out a bunch down here. So we've cleared out about 35% of our position right in this area. We dribbled out on the way down. We always do that. Again, into these highs. Now we'll wait to see if the 50-period moving average does go. I want to go over to Intel, but you're already on it. So.
Just one note.
Yep.
I don't use this, I'm not trading the VIX, but if you're watching the VIX, that downtrend that we had from 58 this morning, it's breaking it right now. So if you just kind of connect the dots, we just closed above the trend line. I don't know why that's not an infinity line, which I tried to draw there on TradingView, but you're just breaking it back out. That's pretty much what you're looking for there. Could have waited to enter shorts until you got that confirmation, but it's certainly helping the look for the south side. Intel's breaking its trend as we speak. Pfizer there's buyers in front of the volume weighted average price on a lot of these stocks. So if it breaks down, kind of let it work underneath. Mullen's Mullen, it doesn't really, Mullen probably heads back into the low of the day. That's just my guess. But that's like, you're trading it from 4 to 3. That's the idea on Mullen. And NVIDIA is also holding a very distinct trend line. Like it gets really spicy because every time we bounce off this trend, it gives you a chance to maybe refill off the top, but respect the fact that we are still heading up here. So make sure you're taking profit on the way back in. We haven't blown out that top. At 101, where NVIDIA was topping before, that's still the high. Ideally, you want to see it close underneath, and then you get the confirmation that you want. You had mentioned Palantir. I just wanted to quickly go over to another name that we've traded every single day and have not even looked at today, and that's Amazon. When I say these charts look the same, almost everything I'm looking at is exactly the same look. Breaking this trend that we've had to the upside. So I don't think you get away from, if you like the short, you like the short. If you like the long, you've been buying these dips and you're up this morning, no questions asked. But if you like the short, you're on the precipice of losing all of these trends that we've had for the first 30, 40 minutes of the day. It's been that kind of a trap market, and it seems like we're in another one of those. Till proven otherwise.
Yeah, we have to just talk about being responsible a little bit more here because we just got stopped. I purposely punched this out. Like, if we came back into this level there on the futures, we wanted to get out of half of what we had left. So that's exactly what we did because we want to reload up here. I don't want to average all the way back in again. We want to reload around 41.25. So that's where I'm sitting right now with a decent sized position, 41.25 on the QQQQQ. All right, so that's that. Let's check out Delta. Delta had a good report there. So often when you've had good reports, you've got faded the rest of the day. Not true for Delta today, as you are now up 7.5%, as Delta going high side right now. So fly high with Delta. Nice move there. The daily chart giving us some good feels as well, as we do have some gathering down there, and then now the pop on a decent report. So again, if there's going to be a rally in the market, why not pick a name that's proven? Delta right now up 7%. could be going, man. Yeah, Jay Lee and everybody, shout out to all you guys trading the futures over here with me. But it's been a difficult day, to say the least, on that market, because we've been pretty like range bound over here. So we'll wait to see if we can drop back in. Bidding now $40.14. And we will go over to Adara.
Here's DJT. This stock really strong today. Trump Media and Technology Group. They, of course, run Truth Social. This morning around 8, they announced that they have their TV streaming apps now available in both Canada and Mexico. But that's not really what's moving the stock. That came out around 8 a.m. A couple minutes after the open, Donald Trump, who is the president of the U.S. and DJT is his namesake stock, he posted, "This is a great time to buy," and signed the stock DJT, which is his initials, but it's also the ticker here for this stock. DJT, regardless, nicely to the upside today. Keep an eye on this ticker as it continues to rally. Back to you.
Shout out to Christopher Mulligan. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Check out yesterday's darling, FMTO. No, Fat Pipe was yesterday's darling. FMTO was like close second. Look, you've got to be careful. I have to double check. Obviously, a stock doesn't go from $5 to 6 cents without a news story. So I don't want to sit here and tell you that I know exactly what's going on with this. But suffice to say, you don't go from $5 to 6 cents. Maybe, I don't know if they dropped an offering or if there was a bad news story, or it's just this was a squeeze and they've unwound it, but it's underneath. Like, it's 10% underneath where the thing came from in the first place. My first gut reaction is, if they're not exactly going bankrupt, and maybe this is like some kind of a drug company that just had a bad result, I might take a shot if it breaks under 5 cents, just for like some kind of a scalp long. We'll see. I'm going to have it up on my radar. Thank you for that super chat. I haven't looked at Fat Pipe, but I'm assuming if that thing's going down and they were both running to the upside, Fat Pipe might be going under pressure as well, because they can have sympathy plays. All right, so we just got Reload and Intel, which did break the trend line. So I shorted now at the top of the trend line. If it breaks out above, it's not even the high of the day anymore. I have to move my stop because this is a new rule. Now that it's broken the trend, if it breaks back above this trend line at 18.6, I should be jumping out of it. So that's still working. Pfizer, remember, all of the drug companies are now bracing for their tariffs to come through. That's still holding the VWAP as well, but that's trending down after precipitous move up, although only a couple of percentage points to the upside and still down 3%, but it's bouncing off the volume weighted average price. Wait to the high to cover, or to get back in and get some out of VWAP, hold for the dream if the market ever wants to fall apart. But let's take care of a little bit of business.
I like that, hold for the dream. Yeah, we covered some there as well. We're going to cover Worksport right now, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. It's ticker WKSP. They are a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy. We want to thank Worksport for being part of Trader TV Live. So, yeah, I see Neil banging his head there.
I got the halt on FMTO up.
Perfect.
No, but so what I do, if it's in the halt band, I throw a stop. For anyone that... when you have halts, there's 15 seconds when it gets to the halt band before it actually goes into a halt. So if you sit on the bid, you can still get filled. I'm talking about a halt up that you can't even see here because it's down so much. So there is an up halt. It's not even visible because the stock's down 98%. But I threw a stop, or I went to throw a stop underneath that 7 cent level where it was halting up, so that if it didn't halt, I'd have cover in case it was a fake halt up. I misplaced the stop and punched out flat. So I wanted to be long this at 7 cents and ended up punching out of it flat and paying fees, and watch it now open up at like 10 cents or 20 cents or something. So that's just, keystrokes happen. I obviously made one there and you guys can see it. So not happy about it. I said I'd move my stop to Intel if it broke out above the prior bar. Because it broke this trend line, I don't give it to the high. If it breaks the trend line, it's supposed to flush back down underneath. So Intel not working, Pfizer is, Apple did, although Apple now bull flagging it up. A lot of things are bull flagging it up right now, but I only took one shot at Apple. Pfizer, I think, might be a little bit different from the rest of this market. just because it's the first day of pain, well, it's not the first day of pain for, it's not the first day of pain for these stocks. I mean, obviously Pfizer's been a dog for a while. No, but now we just had the reiteration that, hey, your time is coming and the tariffs are coming on the pharma stocks, so you're getting another leg to the downside. Whether you're looking at this or Merck, they've all been flat bottom breaking, but Intel, going to have to take the L on that. FMTO, I'll begrudgingly, it happens, everybody. I'm not going to take a lap like was suggested, Ron Williams, or do some
people want to do
push-ups.
some push-ups. We do some push-ups. Get some calisthenics in.
No, I do. I'm actually going to do push-ups today. There
we go.
On like active rest days, I try to do like 100 air squats, 50 push-ups, and then some ab work for active rest. And then I throw in my like 15 to 20 minutes of my rehab stuff for my Achilles. It just gives me about a half an hour of work because I don't have a lot of time on the weekdays.
Just 100 squats and 50 push-ups. What's wrong?
Air squats, dude. Oh, okay. It's like I do the bring Sally up for squats twice.
Okay.
Basically, it's just that you get a little bit of blood flowing, and it's a good warm up for some of my Achilles stuff. I ran on the weekend, everybody.
Oh, good, man. Nice.
2.5 kilometers. Very sore after.
Because you're on what, the 10th month now, or what?
July, so whatever that is.
July.
9, 10?
May, June, July.
I'm supposed to be. It's supposed to be full athletic recovery, so I'm on pace for full athletic recovery.
Right. Good. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. On pace is nice. The Dow is on pace to stay green today. So is the Nasdaq. So is the. Yes. So I did not dip by anything in my own account. So we're going to wait a couple more minutes to be able to do that. And by minutes, I mean days. I do want to see what's going on with bank earnings coming on Friday. We talked about that yesterday. So we got some, again, I'm going to talk about more positions than this. I just want to tell you that we did cover out there on the TQs a lot, man. Once we broke through that 50-period moving average, our best fill is 75s. Again, right into these levels. You have to monitor your positions if you're going to trade actively like this. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to sit here, monitor these levels, and watch it. The other trade that we wanted to look at today, we had gone short. We've only traded 3 names. Apple's going to be my #1 stock today, but it's not even close. And that was on that short, believe it or not. And then we were just responsible with it. We got out once that broke. We wanted the 176. We talked about that. We got it. We nailed it. Then we got out. Now it's barcode nation for Apple. This, to me, I'm still biased short. Obviously, I'm short the market right now, 80 cents in the money. But at the end of the day, I still think short. I don't think there's anything really resolved here. If we're gonna zoom out to like almost like a longer time frame here, we can look at the Qs, the 30-minute on the Qs. We still have a ways to go, and I still wonder about retesting this. I don't think today, but this 408, 40, like this is where I want to get long. We talked about the dip in on whatever the bad day was, Monday right there. So that was Monday right there, these levels. We actually came back into those levels again. So now I'm feeling a little more comfortable buying that 10% position. And as we talk about averaging into trades, I feel more comfortable now that we've wicked the bottom 3 times. So, and again, like those are major markets. I'm talking about the NASDAQ, I'm talking about the ES. So, all right, without any further ado, Adaira's ready, it's 10:20. Let's get an update.
Here's IWM. This thing is kind of chopping around this morning for the Russell 2000, the small cap indicator. We're going to start here with IQ, which is actually Chinese ADR, but a 10% short float and a market cap of about $900 million, just under $1 billion. No news for IQ, but nice look for this Chinese ADR. We know they are certainly on watch as a group. Here's HEPA, Hepion Pharmaceuticals. Could not find news for this one, but it is a small cap penny stock here, trading around 74 cents. I was seeing a couple different floats, but roughly 1 million shares for the float for HEPA, something to be aware of. And last but not least, WRD. This name got attention a little while ago. NVIDIA involved in this name, but also BlackBerry's QNX announcing a collaboration with WRD. So this is one to watch as well. DJT, not really a small cap per se, but making nice moves to the upside as well. And back to you.
Just allow me to correct something here. I made the assumption that FMTO was kind of like Fat Pipe because its price action looked like Fat Pipe yesterday, so I figured it was just a sympathy play. Fat Pipe was an IPO yesterday. Clearly this FMTO, which is back open and trying to catch a little bit of a bid, not that you can tell, it's a little bit something else. So it is bouncing, like you would have gotten 10% right now, but I got out in and out flat, so I'm not really happy with myself. I haven't really checked out what Fat Pipe is supposed to do. Right now, this is that FMTO. That's insane. But look at Intel. It just ran the high of the day again. So it broke trend, added to it And this is one of those things, like a lot of times you add to something when it's starting to work. Instead of averaging up, instead of averaging down, you're averaging up in a situation like that. Well, it just ticked the top and then came back in there. But I'm not fighting this one. I want to see a better opportunity. It's still going. Like,
come on, shorts.
When it was really good, it showed a double top, and then I got this lower high for the trend break. So we're still into Pfizer, which is working. That's been much more clean than Intel, as it's holding lower highs as the market's trying to go. And as I mentioned, we were going to short Mullen off of VWAP, and probably not to anybody's surprise, it kind of popped a VWAP and is sort of heading right back in to the low of the day. It's done almost 100 million shares. I think that FTMO is pulling some of the volume away from Mullen, to be honest, because that's the bigger penny stock in terms of volume.
I like the idea of shorting all bounces that you guys talked about it, but look what just happened right now in the NASDAQ. Like, we just got another piece out there at $40. The NASDAQ is now running right back up to the upside again. So, you know, ear to the ground. You guys, I want to just thank everybody for joining us one more time here today, because again, without the viewers, man, we don't have any show. We're looking at the chat like literally 24/7 here. Well, not literally. I mean, we're only on the air for 8 hours, whatever it is. But we are looking at it. We're looking at the chat all the time here, and I'm just waiting for this ad to finish so I can show you guys. You know, we want you to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and all of that. So there goes the futures. Remember where we're waiting, man. $41. We're trying to wait around 41 even for that, and if that comes in, good. But we do have more breaking news with A.
Not breaking news, but I wanted to give some context here on FMTO. There is no catalyst that I could find for this move. So this one was up a little bit pre-market, dropped here, I guess, heading into the pre-market. But yeah, FMTO, quite impressive move here for this ticker. Femto, they're an Israeli company. They were on our watch list this morning as well, I think under 2 million share float. So small float, pretty big move yesterday, set up for a nice pre-market move to the upside, but we did end up giving back literally everything here. So FMTO, I want to clarify, there's no catalyst in this that I'm aware of, nor was it an IPO. Back to you.
The low was 50 cents before, maybe a nice little pop upside and then downside and then bang. So thanks to Dara for all of that. I want to thank everybody. Here it is right here. Let's hit the sirens up because we've got over 1.4K here, Andre, if we could show this. Let's get that to 2,000. We have over 11,000 of you, and we salute you and we say thank you so much for watching us again today and keep coming back. You've got Joe and Sharif. They're going to talk options, small cap runners, educational moments as well on the midday. So me and Neil are gone in 35 minutes and then back at 2, but the show gets better after that with Joe and Sharif. So get ready. It's 11,000 of you watching right now. Let's bump that guy up. Let's get going. If you haven't hit the like button, please do it. Again, showing you everything, bringing you news. You guys want to know about Fat Pipe. You want to know about FMTO. You want to know, like, we're here for you. We're looking at the charts. We're looking at the chats. Give us some love there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. There it is. Already up to 1.6. We want to thank you for doing that right there. The 200 of you that hit that. Now I want to say thank you to the rest of you for doing it, but you got to do it first. All right, is oil doing, oh, let's look at XOM because XOM is just hitting up. So here we go. So I'm getting an alert now on my charts here with eSignal. So XOM and Occidental right now, I don't know, oh, I guess it's just hitting VWAP, both of these names. So it's probably, yeah, see there's Oxy again. So it's just reloading. I reload these alerts every 5 minutes. So there's settings down there. See, like right now, there it is. SOXL just popped in there as well. So I get a reload. And if it dances around VWAP, it will give me that update like every 5 minutes. So right now, my bad for calling out oil right there. It doesn't look like it's moving too much, at least with XOM. I don't want to get too caught up with this, but the futures, we took another out. We did not average in. I'm now sitting at $40.75. If we can get that short, that would be a reload. But again, we're going to put on half a unit, full position, reload up here at 41.25.
Absolutely. And everybody, check out Trade the Pool because it's just a new option. It's not just a new option for trading. It's a new mindset, really, for stock traders. Forget the old rule book where big trades meant big risk. With Trade the Pool, you can trade real stocks with massive capital and only put down $47 to get started. Your loss is capped. Your profits, unlimited. This is about breaking barriers, not your bank account. So if you're ready to trade big without the usual fear of losing it all, head to tradethepool.com. Link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. And obviously on a prop floor, trading other people's money, you got to also follow the rules. And one of those things is, you know, have a plan of action for anything like that. and make sure you know where your outs are going to be. Because I said, like, some things are continuing to trend up, which I got away from. I'm only in the two things which are either holding the line at the level we like. And don't get me wrong, I did stop out. You can barely see it because that's a really tight stop, probably too tight. And I jump right back in. And then we did stop out once on Pfizer. It's working now. Mullen is holding trend, so that works for sure. I see a lot of people. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are moving around here. AMD, for whatever reason, I don't want to try to explain it away. AMD's up 5.5%, Nvidia's up 3.6%. It's just making a bigger move than everything else. I looked over, I'm like, I just recently had a dip buy in ARM. Is ARM having a good day? Yeah, it's up 4%. AMD's just moving more than everything else at this point. So I feel like if this breaks its trend, I have to at least have a gander and a look at it. That said, I've already redrawn. Oops, I did not redraw on that chart, so I did redraw on my black chart. I've already redrawn, waiting for the entry here. You're still cresting at the same price area on Intel, but it's just stronger than Pfizer, which I'm also in. So I want to take another shot at this for the mean reversion trade. I've just redrawn the trend line. And if it does another close, I will take another swipe at it. Don't mind taking our shots, but got to have yourself in out. Some things are obeying, and other things are absolutely not in this particular market. Tesla's still looking pretty strong out there. I keep looking over as because you guys mentioned GameStop. Maybe it would run at that 25. It's bull flagging. Like, same thing. Like, everything kind of popped and is hanging out on top of the range. Still like the 25 for a break, but you can see nothing's happening there.
Yeah, I can definitely, I can see clearly now the tariffs are gone. No, they are not gone, actually. Bad joke. No, so...
VIX would be at 15 so fast.
That's the scary part of it all for me, actually, to be honest with you, is the fact that we sit here and we hold some of these shorts knowing that at any moment, this could pop. Like, we just had a pretty dramatic move there. We just went back into 39.82 and then right back up to those levels. So there has to be some kind of news pending probably pretty soon for the futures, because it's dancing pretty nicely right now. Interesting there. Just quickly, we do have news and crypto. I just want to show Amazon quickly because this is another name that we've really liked, but not moving as much as the market. Okay, I hear Adara over there, so let's go over and talk about oil and crypto.
We actually have some Amazon news here. Amazon reportedly canceling some inventories from orders from China after tariffs. So Amazon reportedly here with some orders. Crude oil coming in here, 2.533 million. So a little bit better than the expected 2.6 million. EIA gasoline inventories negative 1.6 million versus negative 1.41 million expected. So that's the oil inventories. Let's take a look now, though, at BTC, which is continuing in this rounded top, double top type situation that we had back at the end of last year, started this year, continuing to push these lows. This morning, we did have this drop, of course, with the rest of the market. Pre-market around 7 a.m. when we have China announce they're going to be doing now 84% additional tariffs here for the U.S. And we get this little bit of a double bottom for BTC at the 74.5 level. Let's see if Bitcoin can hold 74.5, because that seems to be a pretty key area, and it could be precarious as of right now. But what other crypto names are on watch here? Bitcoin down 3.5%. Ethereum back below 1,500, down about 4 to 5%. XRP 5% to the downside. Solana 2%. Doge 4%. Cardano 5%. All of these names pretty weak here to about equal degrees this morning, guys. Back to you.
I'm staring down. I'm staring this FMTO way too much. Just a couple of things here, everybody. Like, nothing too much has changed. Intel's about to break the high of the day again. But what I'm also looking at very clearly is this 50 level on the VIX. We broke the trend down, held 50 for basically the last half an hour. We've held the 50 level, and it's trying to take it out as we speak. So with that happening, and we just crossed back above VWAP, like, as I see that, we just crossed back under 50. I just went over to get another leg out of Pfizer at VWAP, and we go all the way back here as we just broke VWAP. So I'm holding on to basically the last 10% of this. If we get low of the day, great. It's holding the trend to the south side. But with the VIX now bouncing underneath that 50 level after the long consolidation, it looks like we're trying to resolve it to the upside at this point. So you had to take your shots where you got them. Thankfully, it was only once in Apple. Pfizer at least will remain positive. Mullen, whatever, Mullen's gonna Mullen, but Intel we take the L on. Palantir, I thought would be stronger on this, to be honest with you, when I pulled up. I'm looking for something which is a really good looking long setup right now, because I just haven't found one that I like. So while you had limited opportunity to make a big trade to the south side, unless you were short that FTMO this morning, but there's still going to be a lot of day left, trying to be really patient about it here. Keeping an eye on that VIX. If it ends up wicking that 50 and we're running past it again, then I'll jump right back in to some of those shorts that we've gotten out of. So only in Pfizer, only in Mullen. Still looking for a good long setup that I like. I mean, AMD's off to the races. Why isn't ARM going like this?
Okay, here goes the futures.
ARM is better than AMD. Come on, man.
The futures are going, Neil, and I don't know. Again, we talked about the risk involved with looking at these things and trying to be patient. So there it goes, man. We are now looking to get short up here. We're waiting for 41.25. You can see my average price really isn't changing, man, because we're not layering into this. We've taken like a tenth and a tenth. Like we're not like of a unit. Like I'm not even talking about full positions right now at all until we get up to 41.25, then using 41.50 as our high of the day break. So there it is. Now we're starting to fade back out a little bit. Our averages in have been at 90 and at 75. So far so good. About an average place where we're at right now. Adara, what's going on over with you?
We have comments coming out here from U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. You may recall yesterday he was actually testifying in front of the Senate committee. He said that he's had a number of conversations with his UK trade counterpart and saying that apparently quite a few countries have been approaching here to talk about tariffs. So U.S. Trade Representative Greer is indicating there are some talks here with regards to tariffs. We know, though, that the main country they're trying to get to talk to them has been and continues to be China. Back to you.
Where the deal's at?
Many people having many deals being made, and many phone calls are happening right now. My long distance plan has been very exposed.
Long distance plan.
I hope that the White House has the that unlimited U.S. to Canada calling. Because hopefully Carney and
they got the best calling cards there for sure.
Yeah, they do. They put on those calling cards. I never really been a big calling card guy. I don't know. I've never really.
Oh, I didn't use them.
A lot of people use those for long distances. I remember back in the day when, of course, we were kids, like.
Who am I calling?
I was going to say 40 years ago, but that's pretty much right.
Who are you calling long
we were, no, remember long distance in Canada used to be ridiculous. We'd have to wait till like 10 p.m. at night to phone your grandparents or something because it was like you're waiting for those great deals. And Bell Canada, again, was able to divide up those lines. So it's much better.
I don't know. When I was calling if I was calling my grandmother in Antigua, my dad was paying for it. So it's not like I had to deal with that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I just
no. It was pretty ridiculous because everyone would wait until ungodly hours to make calls.
It was crazy.
Like,
I remember my grandparents living in Oakville. We lived in Brampton, and it was like it's a 30 minute drive, like, and it was long distance fees. Oh man, these areas.
I think we got a call for Adara. Let's go to the desk.
We have more talks here on tariffs from U.S. Trade Representative Greer. So keep an eye here on any of these pharmaceuticals names. I have Johnson & Johnson up, but probably PFE, LLY, Moderna, any of these plays. Jameson Greer, U.S. Trade Representative, saying Trump wants to bring back pharmaceutical tariffs back to the United States. So oddly worded headline, but basically just emphasizing that Donald Trump does want to bring in pharmaceutical tariffs. This was also something that Greer emphasized during his Senate testimony yesterday. So Jameson Greer is saying once again that one of Trump's priorities right now is to bring back pharmaceutical tariffs in the U.S. Specifically yesterday, he said the reason that pharma and semis were not included in the initial tariffs is because they wanted more in-depth investigations into those industries first. Back to you.
In-depth investigations, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
It's not new because those have been getting destroyed, the pharma names.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even averaged into that XBI. Someone in the chat there was like, it's a grind, these futures trades, and you are 100% right. That's why we have to be very patient. It's been a great day, a great show, one of our better shows. 1.7K, thank you so much for watching. Over 10,000 of you still here. Call 1-800-AT&T. All right, e-signal, no free ads, by the way, AT&T. All right, so TQs, E-signal right now. Trade smarter, not harder, or just trade both. Trade hard, trade smart. Do it with E-signal. Let's go, TQQs. Scan that QR code right now and get that going. This afternoon, come on, let's go. I'll show you the live tick replays this afternoon when the market slows down. It's amazing, man. You can actually do your studies while the market is still open and get up-to-date everything with E-signal. Again, the best part is Neil showed you earlier today. Let's go, market. He showed you earlier today, Blue Ocean. You could quote that. You could quote Femto Technologies, FMTO. You just got to get entitled. So scan the QR code there, register, sign up immediately. It is completely free. If you haven't done it yet, go over there, sign up, grab the platform on us, then entitle yourself. And even if you're just trading futures, just grab the CME. You know, grab whatever you need and start your journey with E-signal today. Does Canada have good health care? I would say yes. All my experiences have been incredible. My grandmother, thankfully, she's 94, and she had broken her hip. Yeah, congratulations is right about that one. Yeah, congratulations breaking. Yeah, did you say
no?
Congratulations
Come
breaking
on,
your hip,
man.
Neil?
No, obviously that she's 94. Come on, and you knew it right away.
Wow, Neil.
You knew.
Hello,
it was
Grandma.
She's 94.
You won't believe. You know Neil. I mean, he's been at my wedding. He's been, yeah. Oh yeah. You would think he's a friend. No,
I was already hitting the button.
I know. I'm just obviously. But no. Anyways, what I was going to say.
I'm not going to live that down.
What I was going to say was, so she's out of the hospital, but it was great care there. And again, we want to say a shout out to that. And now she's unfortunately, she's in an old age home because she's going to need care because she's not able to walk as great as they try to retrofit the house right now. But anyways, long story short, that was just a little bit there. And the good thing about it is we watch TV all the time. Like, if you have a baby here in Canada, that kind of stuff is covered, which is nice.
Yes,
so
it is.
You get the room and all that. Now, whether or not you're sharing a room with four people.
Well, look, you hear the stories. I'll tell you guys straight up. I got the MRI for my torn Achilles on a Wednesday.
There we go. Yeah.
I was in surgery on the Friday. And there's I get it. There's horror stories out there, and I got my MRI much faster than the horror stories that I hear, and that's like it's not Achilles isn't emergency surgery at the end of the day. Let's go over to Adara or that.
That, Neil, is Sector Watch. And so what we're going to be doing here is looking at a mixed sector board. Usually what we've seen here is either a lot of green or a lot of red. Right now, though, we have a lot of sectors behaving very intensely in one direction or the other, but not necessarily all in the same direction. So with that in mind, we have some strength in electronic technology, Oracle, Microsoft strong. Then you've got tech services, electronic technology, Broadcom, Apple, NVIDIA to the upside. Retail trader, Walmart, Costco, Amazon looking great. Good strength in producer manufacturing, Tesla leading the consumer durable sector, but then there's lots of weakness to talk about as well. Finance here, we have Bank of America sharply to the downside, and then we have health technology. We just talked about the sector, certainly on watch to the downside, as we do have lots of talk about pharmaceutical tariffs from both U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer and President Donald Trump. Energy minerals weak as well here, XOM leading this group, and communications, pretty weak name as well. So keep an eye on certain underperformance in some sectors, but that doesn't mean there aren't sectors where there's some upside, guys.
Do you, Softy? The biggest company in the largest company. Well, it's not now. Again, the largest company. That's the right way to put it. So do you, Softy? Seeing them on the board, good for them. I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but we're going to play our price action the way that we still want to, which is break of trend, wait till it closes under to add. You're still getting topping tail candles galore on the NASDAQ overall. So there is this move back in. Why didn't I get, hold on a second.
I'm starting to get more out.
Why didn't I get filled on Mullen? Oh yeah, you can't hit the bid. It's, duh. It's down 21%, and I'm like, why didn't I get filled when I hit the bid? Because you can't hit the bid, Neil, because it's short sell restricted. So I couldn't get in. You have to sit in front of the offer. Let me just go ahead and do that. On Mullen, we want to reload it at VWAP there, which we're still taking. Trend break we just got on Intel. I'm holding, now that Pfizer's broken the low, probably had a chance to get the lower high when the market was trending up, but I think this is now turning into a possible short under VWAP and add under VWAP to play back into the low of the day. So we're sticking with the shorts. where we like them. And AMD, everybody, like we're only at 15 minutes that we're back on. AMD broke trend. It was one heck of a chase to grab that one short when it broke that trend line. Ideally, would have wanted a price closer to the 83 level. Top is at 83.5. Chasing it down to 82.5 on the trend break was just a little bit too far. Sometimes like it sets up with a line, but it doesn't actually give you an entry point that makes any risk reward sense. So hopefully it gives some kind of a fill in the 83 range, but I didn't want to chase that AMD too far to the downside on that break.
What's up, Kevin M? Apple shorts. 173 I wrote down. What are we doing here? All right, I'll go have a quick look at Apple. I just want to say 180. Okay, probably. I just want to say more covers, man, more life on TQs. You know, you got to stay fluid. And you know, we were initially trying to go short, then we went long on that break, then we lost on the long, then we went short. Just following our rules now, right? Staying nimble, trying to wait for those best prices. We just missed. We're at 41.25, man. If we were at 41s, we would be in the midst of another great day, but unfortunately we had gotten stopped out right there, so we're just trying to massage this position and waiting as best as we can. So Kevin, you asked about Apple, so I know Neil and I were looking at a lot of the same names, but we are still moving around. I mean, Mullen's been there, Neil getting ready to load up Mullen in the own personal account, of course. 180, as all we do is talk bad about it. 180.50 right there has been the top. So I'm going to say no to that, Kevin. I know I went over to it and was like, yeah, maybe we should short Apple, but I'm just going to trade the way that I know, and that is this 50-period moving average. Like sometimes you got to throw the macro out. Like I do think the short is here, which is why we're holding onto the TQs, but at the same time, you see I'm scalping it out. So until we break the 50-period clean, I do not like the short. If you're going to play the top, then that's fine. I think you could short 180, use 180.50 as your top, give yourself 50 cents worth of room, especially if you think this is going to go down. I'll stamp that as a trade, but I would rather, this is just for me, again, because we are pretty liquid here. Like we can get in and out of any positions at any time and really use, like, we have, like the buying power that we have access to is quite large. So we can put on big positions at any time or smaller ones. And for me, this is not really, if you're going to put on a big position, it would have to be up here near 180.10s or so, giving yourselves that 40 cents. I wouldn't mess with it right here. It's two in the middle with indecisive candles here because wick down, then rip. And all we did was wick down right into the 50-period moving average. So I'd rather see a clean break there. Once we break it, I think you want to go short maybe on a 178 break, and then honestly, use 178.50 as your stop if you take that again. But mind you, there is going to be some, back and forth wick action. So good look on that, Kevin. Looks like you're right. That 180, as I talk it down, looks like it wants to now fade, especially with the futures. This is why... Pikachu, I choose you because the futures are underneath the 50-period moving average right now. I'm playing with the fact, I know I'm playing with fire here, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to get the short up here. The fact that we were able to reload small there and get out, all we're doing right now is kind of stacking it up as we come back in a little bit. So I'm now bidding 39.80s into this level, but now that I see this, I'm going to put another 5% of what we have left. I'll put it out here at 40. Hopefully we get that fill, and then the next level is 39.80. I'm actually at this wick bottom waiting for a collapse. So we'll take a 40 flat fill, and then if we break down, that's what I want to have happen. Otherwise, we reload that 41.25. Yeah, my kids are collecting, my son is collecting Pokemon cards now, man. The guy is... My son is downloading the Costco app because he knows he's been reading that there's been great deals at Costco with these cards. Well, because the thing is like we visited a card shop on the weekend. They have to make money. So, they buy the packs at $3 or $4 and selling them at like 10 or 12. So yeah, exactly. So he's all over it. He's all over eBay. He's all over that, which is kind of cool because I used to obviously collect cards myself.
I still have all of my baseball cards.
The Pokemon. I should bring in my cards, man. I have some pretty hot cards. But the thing is, you think they're valuable, but they're actually not.
No, they're not. No, they're not. The only valuable cards,
at least mine.
Back to the market for a quick little second. There goes Intel again. It just broke the high, so I'm taking only trend breaks at this point. You break the trend line, I'm taking my shot at you. But if it breaks out the high, I'm jumping out. I now have this one waiting on Apple as well, so I'm going to take this shot. You get to move it. VWAP's now $3 away, so it's the farther you go up, kind of the better kind of the better I like any kind of a trend break, we'll hold on to Pfizer at least for now. But I'm looking at this Apple because Intel's now unbroken. It keeps on trending higher, and you're not really getting those clean breaks underneath. What I would like is something that you can get into that works initially as cleanly as AMD did. But I had no idea how fast that was going to move back in through that trend on AMD. When it starts going down, sometimes it gets a little bit, they just lose a bit. So hopefully Apple gives me that same look. We'll just wait for that particular entry. What I was going to say is my brother I used to collect baseball cards, and my brother wasn't into it. He's more of an artist. And so when I would go to the card shows, he pulled a, well, if Neil gets to buy this, I want to get some cards too. And so he just bought 2 sets in the mid-'80s of like full sets of like hockey cards. So, and the year it was Brett Hall's rookie year.
Yeah, I know exactly that card.
Bought. And then he won one of the other ones. And I'm just like, you don't even like hockey, and now he's got like all these cool cards that he doesn't even care about, to be honest with you. But hey, good luck for him.
Brett Hall.
I told him he should have sold them at the height of cards. But I mean, whatever. At this point, you just don't care. Like, they're a cool thing to be able to give to your kids.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be able to give
I got to check some of the old ones.
Yeah, my kids might not.
What are we watching?
Too interesting.
Pokemon scalpers at
There we
Costco.
go. See what I'm saying? Wait a sec. That is my kid. What the hell?
Hip check.
No, this is in the States, though, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. What is that guy doing exactly? He shouldn't be allowed to take that whole box.
He's done it.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous, man.
Those guys are dead to me. No, but that is the that is the plight of Pokemon cards.
That's
because they're valuable, right? I mean, that's it. Thanks for showing that there. All right, guys. Hey, guys. Right now, we do have a nice move happening right now in the futures as we just get our $40 print down there. So that was a good one there as we go. So we'll be able to watch out to see what exactly is happening now with the futures. And there it is, man. We talked about a slow grind lower. So congratulations, anybody that's been with me on this one as we try to flex the muscle Sharif style here on the futures. So there it is. Okay, we'll watch to see. There it goes. Get down. We told you where we're bidding, man. We're bidding 80s. Do not. This is where I get anxious because then I'm like, now I need to change my 80 because if I miss it, I'm going to feel some kind of ways. But we do not miss it at all. Spin it. There it is right there, man. $1.20 now in the money on that play. So we'll wait to see there. I was going to say 100 handles, but the handles have changed now because of the dramatic move down. So it's no longer like 1 cent is 1 tick or whatever on the futures. So we'll wait for that one. It is now 10:50. So what we're going to do now is go to Money Talks. Then we will have what's for lunch.
I gotta do Profit X.
Yeah,
we continue to have here a little bit of a pop in the DXY and then a drop of equal size. So by that I mean, if you look at this chart here, last Thursday here, April 3rd, we had this push to the downside with a gap down, of course, tariff announcement. But then Friday and Monday, we bid back up. And now Tuesday and now today looks like we're trying to give that push back to the downside. We are not even at Friday's lows here, let alone Thursday's, but currently trying to hold up right now around 102.3. Looks like the dollar wants to continue to drip to the downside. As Brendan mentioned earlier this morning, CME Fed Watch tool right now has about 50-50 odds of rate cut or hold for the May meeting. And actually, as of right now, the cut is actually slightly outweighing the hold. So right now, more market participants pricing in that 25 basis point cut than not for the May meeting. Let's see if that comes to fruition. But certainly something to keep an eye on here as we get this volatility in the markets. Will we get a rate cut in May? We'll have to wait and find out. But we won't have to wait for long to find out what the Fed was saying in April, because at 2 p.m., we get FOMC minutes dropping, not a meeting, but the minutes from the last meeting. So keep an eye on that. I'll be summarizing those once we get them. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dara. And we were just talking a little bit about the Masters, and one way you can take advantage of the fun there for the Masters, as we've been saying before, and that's with Profit X. Because if you're looking for unbeatable odds on the biggest games and the biggest tournaments, switch to Profit X's peer-to-peer platform, where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, Watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX, where sports playing is reimagined. Users can use the code TraderTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. And we've already cross-checked this. You can look at some of the lines on the yes/no for the Masters, which is kind of a big deal happening this weekend. I guess. Well, I mean, they get underway already.
Look at this.
But Mr. Scheffler, I see him at the top. And some decent odds on the no. But as we said, the market did do that curl. I went into the trend break. It only takes one, and we're going to get this one down into VWAP where it's held support before. So the retracement back into VWAP is holding. I'm holding on to Pfizer because Pfizer I think can go further. But this is an out in front of VWAP on Apple. So 2 times Apple, 1 level, and it's going to work twice.
Congratulations if anybody took those shorts because it's props up right now as here. I mean, look, here's the sticky note here. TQ short between 40 to 41. We just had to wait for it. So there's 41, right? Like we write this down. Go find me at Trader TV, Sean. Right now, just small 16,000 posts. But there it comes right back into 39 right now. So we'll take another fill. As we were talking about VWAP, man, we waited for that play to come through on VWAP. And you're welcome, Kevin. You asked about Apple, and boom goes the dynamite. Nice call by you on Apple. I said if it breaks the 50 period, you should take that. That's 178.50. Welcome to $1.50 there, Kevin. Congratulations. I hope you did take some of that advice, and maybe you were short earlier. And there it goes. I just broke this trade down. We didn't take it, unfortunately, but there it goes. Thankfully, you did, Kevin, I would hope. And there goes the print factory on that. But man, it is a print factory over here for the TQs, as now we're downside. I mean, we're still green on the day, but barely on the NASDAQ. Go find me on X and send me a message. Just got one from Value Investor. Shout out to Value Investor. I saw that chat as well. Thank you for sliding into my DMs. What's up, lunch? All right, what is for lunch today? I mean, yesterday was pretty good, I saw, but I did not have any. Today, nah. I'm pretty excited about it anyways, but today's is Chipotle glazed chicken. I mean, the reason why I'm like, man, we always get chicken on our salad, so it looks like we'll probably get it today. Yep. You know, watch, today's gonna be tuna or something. No. With spiced potato wedges. I mean, I'm fine with this. Charred Brussels sprouts, I think that's a good way to have them. Baked, charred, I don't know, I like anything barbecued, but with red peppers, and then of course, chef's choice.
Second worst vegetable.
Yeah, I'm not in love with Brussels sprouts, but I am in love with these futures, but that's what's. All right, I'm gonna take out another bid here on the TQQs. Thank you again for everybody for watching us. We do have still over 10,000 people watching. I lied, 9,800. 200 people, please log in. 1.8K, thank you so much for all of that as well, all the likes and the subscribes, man. It's gonna be another big day for us here at Trader TV Live as we just start to empty out our clip right now on the futures. So, yeah. I hope you like that, what we've been talking about. It's been a big day here again, and there goes the futures down to the downside as the market now bouncing off VWAP, which is why we're starting to clean up, right? So we'll clean up some of these trades. It was a good one. We'll see if we can make it even better heading into the midday show with Sharif and Joseph. Absolutely. And thank you, Mr. Wheeler, A. Wheeler, for the super chat. Appreciate you. How do you guys feel about the probability of the, I got to move up here, of the markets falling apart like they did yesterday? You're short, zero-day expiry options on SPY, risky, but I feel like the sentiment is still awful. I tend to usually think that when you have like a monster move, like I'm just gonna have Apple up, but the futures will look exactly the same, more or less, in general sense. When you have a move that big, the chances of getting something repeating it are pretty low. But remember, if we go from here back to yesterday's lows, that's like half the move of yesterday. So I don't think you repeat yesterday, but I think if you lose VWAP, we retest the low. So like yes, I think we can get to yesterday's lows if we continue this trend reversal, but the percent down, I just don't think it can be as big because now you've gotten the news, we've got the retaliatory, and it was just so much of a move yesterday that I'm not really thinking it. But we took our 2 shots at Apple. We had to be really patient with this one. I'm out when it caught a bid off prior support at VWAP. We'll hold on to the others, and I still want to work back into Pfizer, which has kind of worked the whole way. It's now showing you the VWAP short. So if we can get any kind of consolidation under the volume weighted average price, we'll go back into that. Mullen, if you're following, not reverse splitting, but they announced a reverse split. I actually didn't even hear the date.
I think obviously pretty soon here, probably maybe it's end of the week, maybe it's next week. I'll double check to see when they're doing the reverse split. But obviously the stock goes to the downside and it's holding underneath VWAP. I'm just sitting at VWAP to short it, and then we're bidding into the low of the day. If it breaks, I'll bid in front of 3. It's done almost 100 million shares in here. So far so good. It was just Intel for me that, Intel has been good the last few days to the south side, but this time we stopped at the top and did not get that final trend reverse. So, ultimately, it's a good morning, but Intel, we wish we could have had that one, because eventually it does work. It just didn't give you that clean trend break like sometimes it does. Yesterday, when it broke the trend, it was so much cleaner. Like, it just fell apart from that point when it broke the uptrend.
Yeah, 10.57 right now. Yeah, the puts are in the money, Mr. Wheeler, depending on when you got them. Finally, we make that move back in right now. Bitcoin 77,000. We haven't looked too much at IBIT this morning, and we've been looking elsewhere, but IBIT right there at the 200 period moving average as well. So I'm actually thinking, I'm trying to think about a little bullish off of the 200 period moving average right now. So let's just see, we just had a flush down in the market. The market is representing VWAP pretty nicely, or holding out on VWAP pretty nicely right now at those levels. So I still feel pretty positive about exiting the position like we've been doing there so far today. So yeah, so far so good on the exit of those positions, but we're gonna wait to see now if IBIT can hold that. And if you're looking at crypto, I would say this pre-market level of 43.50 could be something to look out for, but there it is. Nice move back in for the futures. If we can bounce off 39, great, but I'm still looking for a break even lower on the futures, and Adara might have news related to something about the market.
I have news related to tariffs here, Sean. So again, I want to clarify what I'm going to say is not necessarily new information, but the timing of it and the wording of it is pretty key here. So CNBC reporting that Donald Trump will be announcing shortly a major tariff on pharmaceuticals. We know yesterday both Trump and U.S. Trade Representative Greer had indicated they were doing an investigation into pharmaceutical tariffs. Now CNBC reporting that this announcement will come shortly and this tariff will be, quote, major. Back to you.
Oh, we're having a major dump off right here, so we'll get some more out on the TQs, man. $2 in the money right now.
The dumpening?
Dumpening? Oh, yeah. I see what
Everyone's being a panic can, and the dumpening is happening.
People need
That's not my line.
People need not panic can right now. Well, you should have panic canned a couple days ago because you're able to get out at the top.
Yeah, that it's a cool, it's a kind of an interesting little quote. Because I don't know whether that was like intentional or was a typo.
We'll never know.
You never really know whether, did you really mean to say panic can, or did you kind of just
guess it would be a typo, but
I first thought it was a typo. That's why I was like, why are we using it in the description of the video?
It was funny.
But then I looked, I'm like, yeah, he actually said that. So look, it's been a wild one, but obviously the shorts have now come in. The NASDAQ just went red again. The ES just went red again. Let's check that. The ES has been red for a while, down 0.7%. But just going to note one thing before we get out of here. As we just made that fresh low, Apple bounced off 177. So in that last push down, Apple showing some strength at the volume-weighted average price. With that, we'll throw you on. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. We'll throw you back on over to
winning.
Joey Options, and Sharif, the professor. Go get him, boys. Or, yeah, maybe? There you go.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Dang Options. And I am Sharif, and welcome everyone to the show. We're gonna wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream, of which, Joseph, I do not have loaded. I am kind of a little bit behind today, so we'll wait for that bad boy to load up. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got the OGs coming in from the side. So let's shout everybody out. Shout out my main man, Adam DeLuce. I'm just gonna go like that.